If he does, he'd be a centrist independent. Some Democrats fear that could help President Trump win re-election. A big pre-Oscar win for Black Panther.
You're telling me that the king of a third world country runs around in a bulletproof catsuit?
Black Panther won 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards, including Outstanding Performance by a Cast. Rami Malek got Best Actor for Bohemian Rhapsody. Glenn Close, Best Actress for The Wife. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel got 3 SAG Awards for TV shows, including Top Comedy. This Is Us won for Drama Ensemble on TV. This is Fox News.
Heavy snow showers and 14 degrees. 5:02 is our time on AM 560, The Answer. And, well, I'll call it a pleasant good morning for now, depending on your drive-in. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. And it is a heavy snowfall Monday, causing problems on the area roadways. Crashes reported throughout the region, including on the Dan Ryan, the Tri-State, and Lakeshore Drive. Jim Telemonte will have details in just a moment on that, and over 500 flights already canceled at O'Hare, with more at Midway. A winter storm warning is in effect for today for Lake and McHenry counties, and an advisory for Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. 9 inches of snow or more near the Wisconsin border, less south of I-80, only 1 to 3 inches. Hundreds of schools and agencies are closed throughout Chicago because of the severe winter weather. A list of Chicago area closures can be found at emergencyclosingcenter.com. I'll repeat that, emergencyclosingcenter.com. Many others have late starts or other arrangements, and if you're anything like me, you received multiple phone calls on every device in your house around 9 p.m. last night to update you on every school district change. Chicagoland is also bracing for what could be record cold weather. National Weather Service says temps are expected to drop well below zero beginning tomorrow night and lasting through Thursday. Dr. Jeff Shader is with the Cook County Department of Emergency Medicine, says any exposure to the extreme low temperatures will be dangerous.
I've seen people get frostbite within 10 minutes of being outside on their ears, just walking, from one place to the next.
Wind chills could be as low as negative 55 with a temp of minus 15. That could shatter the record of minus 11 set for Wednesday. Turning to other news this morning, a driver is dead after his SUV crashed into a salt truck on Chicago's far south side. Authorities tell us Victor Crosby was driving an SUV when he ran into the truck yesterday at Avenue O and East 130th. Another car then rear-ended his SUV. Crosby was pronounced dead at the scene. A man and his dog are recovering after both fell into Lake Michigan on Chicago's north side. Authorities say the victim was walking his pet along the lakefront yesterday in the 5100 block of North Simmons Drive. The canine then slipped on ice and fell into the icy waters. Man tumbled into the lake trying to save the dog. Chicago Fire tells us the man was able to get the canine out of the water. Police officers then showed up and dragged the man out by locking arms together and forming a human chain. Bail set at just over $1 million for a Chicago man. That man wanted in a deadly Texas shooting last summer. Amon Williams appeared in court yesterday after being arrested Friday on the west side. He's accused in the murder of DeMarquise Smith in July in El Paso, Texas. A bird strike is being blamed for forcing a Frontier Airlines flight to return to Phoenix. Officials say the Chicago-bound plane had to make an emergency return back to Sky Harbor Airport Friday night. Passengers on the plane were given refunds. An Indiana school superintendent is facing charges of fraud, and additional legal action could be taken simply after trying to help one of her students. Retired teacher Candy Dickey feels sympathy for Dr. Casey Smitherman.
The lady tried to help a young man that needed help, and really it's not right, but she got caught. You just run into those things that break your heart, and you want to help kids.
Smitherman helped a 15-year-old high school student receive some medical attention and a prescription for a sore throat by using her son's name and insurance. Local school board in Indiana says Smitherman did make a mistake, but is still backed by the district 100%. However, the family of the teen is considering legal action. Parishioners are trying to save Sunday Mass at the second oldest Catholic church in Chicago. Hundreds signed a petition yesterday asking Cardinal Blaise Cupich to keep Mass alive at Holy Family Church on the Near West Side.
They're causing more suspicion among one another, downright hostility, and this change is not going to help people to trust one another, but rather to distrust.
The Archdiocese of Chicago announcing last week they're merging Holy Family with nearby Notre Dame this summer as part of a restructuring plan. The move means Masses will no longer be held at the church after July 1st. The state of Illinois is offering help to more people who may be struggling to pay their heating bills. On Friday, the state sent word that anyone whose job was impacted by the federal government shutdown will no longer be held, will and have students living on their own can apply for LIHEAP help. Will County woman is urging snowmobilers to be careful where they ride after a horse at her farm became spooked by the machines and was fatally hurt trying to jump a gate. Victoria Vogel of the Vogel Equine Retirement Farm in Frankfort says there are many farms near hers, and she worries other animals may be scared and react as the 20-year-old quarter horse did on January 20th when snowmobiles sped past their corral. The White Sox say they have a strong pitch for Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, but don't expect the team to sign both. General Manager Rick Hahn doused that idea over the weekend, saying the Sox are likely to get one of the two premier free agents to sign, but not both, due to concerns about future payroll flexibility. White Sox have 6 straight losing seasons adding up. They went 62-100 last year. Jordan Clarkson and Alec Burks each scored 18 for the Cavaliers in their 104-101 win over the Bulls at the UC. Lauri Markkanen led the way for the Bulls with 21. AFC over the NFC in the Pro Bowl. 7 Bears played. Quarterback Kyle Fuller had the Bear highlight with an interception of Andrew Luck. Patrick Kane had a nice All-Star weekend in San Jose. Team has basically a week off before returning to the ice on Friday. Illinois men's basketball travels to Minnesota. Face the Golden Gophers Wednesday night, if they can get there. The Illini coming off a 78-67 upset win over number 16 Maryland Saturday. Another college basketball Sunday, DePaul lost to Providence 70-67. Loyola crushed SIU 75-50. And Illinois State was a winner over Indiana State. USA men's soccer 3-0 winners over Panama. The news is a service of La Quinta Inns and Suites. If you're traveling for work, make your next stop La Quinta by Wyndham. Their spacious rooms and free high-speed internet makes it easy to work, while their comfortable beds and bright-side breakfast make it easy to relax. Win at business wherever you go. Book at LQ.com. 5:09. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Winter stinks. Snow, ice, freezing temperatures. More snow. Escape Chicago and join Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. You'll stay at the Marvel Residences Luxury Resort in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. It's a beautiful, all-inclusive resort located between Rainforest Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Don't wait to book your Passport to Paradise trip with AM 560 and Apple Vacations. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Dan Proft here.
And I'm Amy Jacobson, and we wanted to take a minute to say thanks. thank you to each and every one of you who participated in our annual Food for the Poor campaign.
Because of you, we were able to raise more than $175,000 to provide food for a year and clean water for life for more than 2,200 children and their families in Haiti.
And we're especially grateful to the many business benefactors who supported this campaign. When you hear their ads on this station, we'd ask that you support their business as a way of thanking them for their generosity. And just because the Christmas season is over
and we're starting a new year, that doesn't mean the need goes away. You can still make a $50 donation to Food for the Poor.
Just call 844-862-4673. That's 844-862-4673.
Or visit 560theanswer.com/food. That's 560theanswer.com/food. And thanks again for your generosity.
Winter or summer, rain or shine, with the Peloton bike, it's always the perfect weather to sweat. And with up to 14 live rides a day and over 10,000 more on demand, nothing will get between you and your workout. Learn more about the Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom.
It's 5:12. It's a busy morning in the AM 560 traffic center. Let's get the latest on the roads with Jim Talamonte.
With snow on the roadways, speeds are reduced throughout the Chicago area, and significantly, there are a number of crashes, including one on Lakeshore Drive north at Irving Park, which told us several lanes blocked. Also, crash in Oak Brook Terrace on Roosevelt 83. And speeds are reduced on the expressways and tollways. And at O'Hare, we have quite a few flight cancellations this morning. 334 flights have been canceled at O'Hare, and 193 flights have been canceled at Midway. You're heading to the airport, maybe making other travel arrangements. Kennedy outbound at Ontario. Crash just reported at the ramp there, at the Ontario entrance ramp. Traffic, I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
And those numbers at O'Hare, by the way, have spiraled up to nearly 500. Make sure you call ahead on your flight. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory today. Snow tapering off the flurries, 1 to 2 inches. High today 35. Temperatures drop to the 20s. Cloudy, brisk, and cold tonight, low 0. Sun and patchy clouds tomorrow, the high 3. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Temperatures have gone up just a little bit. Light snow and 17 at O'Hare. Heavy snow along the lakefront. 20 degrees this morning in Aurora. Right now, 21 and heavy snow. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
I don't know if you've heard about the place that's all the rage, but they're popping up everywhere. They're called Rage Rooms. And for $50, you can go into a room. It looks like a padded cell. And there's items in there, such as TVs. There's some nightstands. There's really a bedpost, believe it or not. Anything that you can take a bat to or a sledgehammer. And you put on these safety goggles. And for 15 minutes, you just go nuts.
I can probably spend hundreds of dollars with a therapist. Or I can come in here and just annihilate a room.
But the question is this a 15-minute tantrum that is all the rage? Is it lower the bar for behavior? Because that's what a lot of behavior psychologists think, that this is bad behavior and that you might take this type of behavior back home with you.
It really lowers the bar for behavior.
So you think that rage rooms could actually lead to more rage?
Potentially, we start to have a new behavior that we probably haven't allowed ourselves to do in public. We're doing it in this private room now. And then you go home and you're having an extraordinarily bad day. What's to stop you from doing it at home?
But the owner of this place, and this is in Houston, Dan, but they also have some mobile rage rooms in Toronto, and hopefully it'll come here to Chicago. They said that they've never had any problems with anybody acting up.
Do you ever worry that someone with real mental health issues or whatever could walk through that door and you'd never know?
Well, I guess there's that possibility. It hasn't happened.
And while Cynthia McFadden's doing the interview, you can hear noises and grunting from the room next door, because there's 6 different rooms that you can go into. And you can also bring items from your home that if you're upset, You could take some items. I know, wake up over there because it's getting
Divorces are number one.
You say more women than men.
And all women outdo the men. 100%.
I could have told you that.
You think so? All right. So what are the top 3 professions or the top 3 problems that you think that women go to the rage rooms for? Divorcees is number 1.
Uh-huh.
Number 2 is teachers. Believe it or not, teachers. And then lastly...
Because they're underpaid.
Yeah. And lastly, single moms. Single moms. It's their place where they can go because they can't scream at the kids and you have to control yourself and the kids because the kids could be, reporting you or recording you at any time. So they go to these rage rooms and just let it out. And if you... Exactly. And if you see this video... I mean, these women, they are really satisfied with their performance.
I never leave here feeling anything other than exhausted, happy, and I have a huge smile on my face from ear to ear. And I don't have to clean it up.
Yeah, she doesn't have to clean up. Now, that's
Is
a woman.
she right? I know that's the popular opinion.
That's a woman you want to date right there. Someone who goes to rage rooms.
This is a dumb idea.
You think? Why is it a dumb idea?
First of all, I don't need a rage room. That's what I have golf for. So that's number 1. Number 2, I mean, get a hold of yourself.
Really? But they're for women. They just keep it all bottled up inside, and instead of going to a counselor,
just
they
cry
take it out
yourself
on the
to
TV.
sleep each night like I do. You wake up the next morning and you go at it again.
I think it's a great idea. 312-642-5600. And I think that we should have a station-sponsored event.
Yeah.
And all go to the rage room because
my
you came
gosh.
in a little agitated about the traffic, as I was too. But
Yes.
if we had to go into a rage room and take it out on, say, a safety cone or a construction barrel, wouldn't that feel better?
Or we could just be a grown-up adult and move past our temporary agitation and get down to the job at hand. We could do that, too. We could control ourselves.
So you think this is all about filling a need that we don't need to fill?
I think this is adult children. This is
Really?
adult children
Okay.
romper room. This is like throwing kids into one of those bouncy houses or something to just get all their energy, all their excess misplaced energy out because they can't control themselves.
What don't you get about it?
We could go to a rage room and then go to that adult baby store
Yeah,
in Mount Prospect.
Yeah, we could be put in a crib into nappy time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get our, diapers tailored to
But
size.
you should see these women that they interviewed on NBC.
Yeah.
They were going to these rage rooms. They were pretty hot and they were pretty fit. And let me tell you, they were pretty angry.
Yeah, heads up, any of you out there on those dating apps, you may want to take a look at the rage room patrons. Swipe, which way do you, left, right? Which I don't know which way is to not swipe for them.
No, but I think it's a great idea. And they also offer gift certificates just in case you.
Yeah. Randy and Crown Point.
Morning, guys. I think it's stupid but brilliant. Welcome to America. Only in America can you do these things, make money on it, and have a good time with it. But personally, I think it's stupid. I would never do it. But do they get credit for green? Because this is a recycling process. I mean, they are making use out of something that otherwise is junk. They should get credit, probably get a tax break or something along the way.
There you go. Yeah, thanks for the call, Randy. And with respect to rage, then there's the concern about them becoming rageaholics.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll go on disability so they can spend all their time at the rage room.
Loud noises!
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
I spoke to one person and, I asked him a simple question is, what do you want to do with your retirement? And he said, I want to protect it. Because if it does go down and not come back, do you have enough time in the market to recover those losses?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
The Army National Guard is offering up to a $20,000 enlistment bonus and other tuition benefits to qualified candidates, including new recruits and those with prior military service. Already received your education or are currently in school? You may be eligible for up to $50,000 in student loan repayment. Get the education you need to land the career you've always wanted. Learn more about the many benefits that come with serving part-time in the Army National Guard. Visit NationalGuard.com today. Sponsored by the Illinois National Guard.
Another year and you still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system. Will your employees struggle to get by on a dated system with no IT personnel to fix it quickly? Or maybe you're thinking everything's running perfectly and it'll be fine. Until it isn't. Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. And it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Make 2019 the year you're prepared for anything technology throws at you with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT helps set you up for success and gets in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. They specialize in the preventative steps to keep you going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know exactly where you stand in the ever-evolving technology world. A second opinion never hurts. And for a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company, courtesy of Turnkey.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros, so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-600-9519. That's 1-800-600-9519. 1-800-600-9519.
Nothing speaks louder about an auto dealer than a happy customer. And at Joe Cotton Ford, they have many.
It's like my family. I never go anywhere else than Joe Cotton Ford. If I have to buy a car, I always go first Joe Cotton Ford. And they have best service ever, and the best price, and the best models.
My overall experience is great. It's easy to buy, it's easy to go through service, and overall, it's just a great experience.
More reasons why folks keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Joe Cotton Ford has the new 2018 Ford EcoSport, the small SUV that's big on standard features for only $18,995, 26 to choose from, with 0% financing for 60 months. The EcoSport SE features heated front bucket seats, a power moonroof with sunshade, rear view camera and reverse sensing system, plus intelligent access with push-button start. Get to Joe Cotton Ford today and save big on EcoSport, Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Let it snow and snow.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. It's Bring Your Toboggan to Work Day today in Chicago.
How in the world did you make it in with your sedan? Do you have four-wheel drive on that thing?
All-wheel drive, yeah.
All-wheel drive. Okay. Well, I have a new plan. If anybody's been out on the road, or if you're on the road right now, left lane only for four-wheel drive monster trucks. If you've got a big SUV with four-wheel drive, get out of our way. Okay? Just move. Do you know why
get out of our way in the left lane? That's where they would want to be because that's where the fastest lane.
Well, yeah, but they're clogging up the left lane by
so get
going
out of their
10
way.
miles per hour. Well, just everybody, if you don't have a four-wheel drive, don't even drive. Really, don't even bother coming to work because it's that bad out there. Addison normally is plowed, nothing. Irving Park, I was going back and forth to try to get to the Kennedy. Then once you got to the Kennedy, that was all, mashed potatoes. Pick your lane, make a lane, do whatever you want to do. So did you spin out at all? Are you good? You made, I know you're healthy, but
yeah, I'm here.
Good. Okay.
Damn you, snow!
Thank you for asking. I love Chicago. We talk about the weather. Look, you come for the crime and the taxes. You stay for the weather. You're here. It's a choice you made. It's a choice I made. Enough with the bitching.
Fine.
You know what you're going to get. And you're going to get minus 47 degrees
52
on Wednesday.
Wind chill.
Well, we don't wind chill.
It's
straight temperature.
Straight temp is what? Minus 15, I think?
I think it's going up.
Yeah.
Isn't it going up?
Yeah.
We were having an argument about this at the cigar shop yesterday, and we were too lazy to look on Google.
Yes.
The coldest day in Chicago. Was it the Giants game in 86?
1985.
Well,
I
80,
thought.
86, Bears-Giants.
Well, I personally thought one of the coldest days of the year was in 1985, minus 87 wind chill. And people's car were literally breaking down, and people would put a blanket up while they were walking to a nearby house. It's some tale of woe from people we know that was the coldest day of the year. But I'll look it up.
I think you're confusing that with John Carpenter's The Thing. But is it Mike? Yeah?
Mike, do you know? The cold, or maybe Christmas Eve in 87?
January 20th, 1985.
Yes.
Coldest temperature recorded in the city limits of Chicago, minus 27.
But the wind chill was minus 87. The air temperature was minus 27.
It's like talking about dew point, the wind chill.
Minus 36 at Aurora Airport that same day, so the burbs were about 3 degrees cooler.
Right.
So wait, but what about the Bears-Giants in their 85-86 playoff run?
That was January 20th, 85, so that might have been...
Oh, that could have been
that could have been the day.
Oh, yeah, right, 85.
Oh, that's right, because there was a big to-do about should they cancel the game or postpone it. That's right.
Right.
We didn't get to go to that game. We just had to.
Yeah, right, 85. Yeah, right, Bears-Giants. I think that was it. I think that, all right.
I remember it was a Sunday. I remember, so that could be the Bears. And we play football on Sundays.
It was cold against the Rams, and then it got colder against the Giants, if I recall correctly.
Were you still wearing loafers with no socks?
I was still a Lions fan back then.
Thank you for
I'm
settling.
slowly changing.
Sorry.
No, those were the... Wait, no, that wasn't the Barry Sanders days, was it?
No,
Billy
Billy Sims.
That was
though.
Billy Sims.
Billy Sims, though.
Sure.
That was fun.
Joe Ferguson, the great Joe Ferguson.
It's like reminding me of the Greg Landry days.
Herman Moore. Herman Moore?
Oh, gosh.
Later,
a little bit later.
90s, early 2000s.
All right, take your calls. Favorite mid-1980s Detroit Lions
Monty Clark,
players.
that massive coach.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, your favorite Detroit Lion from 1985.
Hansen, the kicker. He was there back then. He was.
Jason Hansen?
Not in 85.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he played 30 years in the league.
He
started
when he was 10.
Eddie Murphy was the kicker. He should be in the Hall of Fame, and he's not.
Okay.
But he should be.
Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray, sorry.
Eddie Murphy is a black comedic actor.
What?
Yeah, right. Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. Does that sound familiar? All right. Well, thank you for settling that bet at the cigar shop. So we have
Do you
that
remember
squared away.
that day?
Like it was yesterday. Or like it was Wednesday, which is going to be a repeat, apparently.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right. We need to get to our course material here. We've got a lot to work through. So Trump shuts down the shutdown. Another cave or just the predicate to a Trump master stroke that's going to pull this all together? And if you say the latter, I want to hear the scenario. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line. We'll take your calls and hear from the president at 5:38.
And dear Roger Stone, they do make longer shirts. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Snow showers, and it's 17 degrees right now officially at O'Hare. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have been working without pay are stuck at home during the partial government shutdown. Going back to work today with pay, longest shutdown in U.S. history, ending Friday when the president signed a short-term funding measure. Senator Joe Manchin now says an outside observer is needed to negotiate an immigration deal.
There's a lack of trust and a lack of belief on both sides. No one believes that basically these figures are correct or this or that's going to happen.
Senator Susan Collins says she believes Congress will reach an agreement on physical barriers on the border.
It's going to be a combination of physical barriers, technology, more Border Patrol agents, more immigration judges, more censors. It's got to be an all-of-the-above approach.
The main Republican on CBS's Face the Nation. Former New Jersey Governor and U.S. Attorney Chris Christie warning Roger Stone about fighting charges against him.
He's got a problem because they've got all these emails and text messages that he created that tell a pretty clear story. And I think it's going to be very difficult for a jury to listen to that and conclude that it wasn't what he was trying to do.
On ABC's This Week, former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz making waves this morning, running for president not as a Democrat, not as a Republican, but as a centrist independent, he says.
You know, I've been a lifelong Democrat. I look at both parties. We see extremes on both sides.
Says both parties deserve major blame for what's not happening. A national security advisor, John Bolton, warning about harm coming to American diplomats In Venezuela, you may recall the U.S. announced last week it no longer recognizes Nicolas Maduro as the country's president. A Duke University professor stepping down from her post after sending an email asking students not to speak Chinese. Megan Neely is an assistant professor at the North Carolina school. A superhero film, Black Panther, is the big winner at the 2019 Screen Actors Guild Award, scoring Best Performance by Cast in a Motion Picture. Heavy snowfall is causing problems on the roadways here in the Chicago area. Crashes reported around the region. Over 500 flights canceled at O'Hare, more at Midway. Winter storm warning is in effect for Lake and McHenry counties, where up to 9 inches of snow can fall. 3 to 6 inches for Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties, less south of I-80. Hundreds of schools and agencies are closed throughout the Chicago area because of the severe winter weather. A list of closures can be found for you at emergencyclosingcenter.com. Chicagoland's also bracing for near-record cold in the middle of this week. Dr. Jeff Shader, the Cook County Department of Emergency Medicine, says any exposure to the extreme lows will be dangerous.
I've seen people get frostbite within 10 minutes of being outside on their ears, just walking, from one place to the next.
Wind chills could be as low as negative 55 with a temp of minus 15. Cavs over the Bulls, 104-101. Patrick Kane, a nice weekend at the NHL All-Star Weekend in San Jose. Right now, the Blackhawks are looking at about 5 days off. Fighting Illini basketball traveling to Minnesota Wednesday night after their upset of number 16 Maryland. Yesterday, DePaul lost to Providence. Loyola, a winner over SIU, and Illinois State beat Indiana State. 5:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is concerned with the new Congress.
Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez announced that she will join Maxine Waters on the very influential House Financial Services Committee. A self-described socialist is going to be on the committee which oversees Wall Street. You know how President Trump is called a disruptor? Wait till you see how the Democrats try to disrupt.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
You probably don't realize this, but between you and your employer, you've contributed as much as 12.4% of your earnings to Social Security, and you've been doing this since your very first paycheck as a kid. Add it up over 40 or 50 years, and it could make your 401k contributions look like chump change. But there's one big problem. Claiming your Social Security benefits is complicated, confusing, and riddled with trapdoors. Hi, this is Tom Fortino. According to PBS and Boston University professor Lawrence Kotlikoff, the Social Security Handbook has 2,278 separate rules governing its benefits, and it has thousands upon thousands of explanations of those rules. Talk about a user's nightmare. Learn how you can help get what's yours. The answers are in our new reports on maximizing your Social Security benefit. It includes little-known strategies that could earn you tens of thousands of dollars more, even as much as $100,000 over your lifetime. This could be a game changer. Call right now to receive this information. 630-519-4742. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc. We've all been there, looking for a parking spot when it's freezing and icy outside. The icy pavement of this pothole-filled parking lot is a nightmare. Oh, there's a spot. Wait, oh no, you're sliding. Watch out for that pothole. Your tire just blew out. The kids are crying and you're never coming back here again. Business owners and property managers, avoid frustrating your customers with a less than perfect parking lot. Pavement Solutions can offer you a safer and longer lasting pothole repair with permanent cold mix asphalt. It's an immediate solution and 90% of potholes patched will never need to be repaired again. Call Pavement Solutions today and learn how they can fix your lot in a day without closing it. In fact, as customers drive over the patch, it gets stronger. Don't put your customers or your business at risk with annoying potholes. Give your customers the experience they deserve. Call Pavement Solutions for a free quote. 815-675-0696. 815-675-0696. Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 5:36. Again, a ton of school closings and other closings and delays. Some late starts for school. They're all on emergencyclosingcenter.com. All of them. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
It'll be a slow and snowy commute throughout the area this morning. The Adams runs about 35 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, not due to congestion, just due to the snow on the roadway. Take travel time, rain and salt. 36 minutes, O'Hare to downtown on the Kennedy, more or less. Outbound 40. If you're flying, you may not be going anywhere. Here we have over 330 flight cancellations. Midway with over 190. Eisenhower about 40 minutes. 390 to downtown. The Stevenson about 52 minutes. 355 to the drive. Ryan 25 minutes. 95th to downtown. Slow going on I-57 at the Bishop Ford Freeway. Speeds are reduced significantly on the tollways and in northwest Indiana. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Travel times with a grain of salt. Traffic humor. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Snow tapers to flurries. 1 to 2 inches officially at O'Hare. 3 to 6 more inches up along the Wisconsin state line, a little less south of I-80. High 35, currently 17. Next news coming up at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So, retreat being the better part of valor or a cave? Trump shutting down the partial government shutdown on Friday. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Here is what Dennis Miller tweeted when Trump made the announcement on Friday, which you'll hear in a moment. Trump is in essence saying, accordingly, I shall not seek and will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president. That's what Dennis Miller said Trump was in effect saying by capitulating for 3 weeks on the partial shutdown. Do you agree? We'll take your call. Trump had a little bit different spin on it than did Dennis Miller, not surprisingly.
I am very proud to announce today that we have reached a deal to end the shutdown and reopen the federal government.
And the bipartisan spirit that has come over D.C. because of Trump's assent to reopening that portion of the government that was shut down.
They have said they are for complete border security, and they have finally and fully acknowledged that having barriers, fencing, or walls, or whatever you want to call it, will be an important part of the solution.
I think President Trump has a big L on his forehead, but he had no choice. I mean, on Friday, air traffic controllers, a lot of them called in sick. There were ground stoppages up and along the East Coast.
Yeah, well,
border,
he did have
and
a choice.
his 37% approval rating. I mean, it was. I just think he had to do it.
When he said there, they finally recognized that a barrier on the border is an important part of security. Have they? Is that what Chuck Schumer said?
No. Chuck Schumer, and he and Nancy, his girlfriend Nancy, were gloating, smiling ear to ear.
Hopefully now the president has learned his lesson. Now, once the president signs the continuing resolution, we in Congress will roll up our sleeves and try to find some agreement on border security. We don't agree on some of the specifics of border security. Democrats are firmly against the wall.
Okay, so I don't know. Trump and Schumer, Pagliacci not on the same script, unsurprisingly. Trump was full of optimism on Friday.
They will put together a Homeland Security package for me to shortly sign into law. Over the next 21 days, I expect that both Democrats and Republicans will operate in good faith. This is an opportunity for all parties to work together for the benefit of our whole beautiful, wonderful nation.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think, that Trump's agreement to do something he said he wouldn't do, which is reopen the government temporarily to facilitate negotiations, will engender this bipartisan deal? Not even Trump thinks that's likely. just 48 hours after he gave those remarks on Friday, Mr. Trump in an interview with Wall Street Journal, I personally think it's less than 50-50. But you have a lot of very good people on that board talking about whether this group of 17 lawmakers could get a deal together that he would sign before February 15th. That's not exactly inspired. So remember just a little bit of context here, too, before we do the what about game or the finger-pointing game. Here was Trump back in December of last year when we had that famous public spat with
Chuck and Nancy.
With Chuck and Nancy.
Oh, yeah, the meeting that turned into a media event.
Right.
In the Oval Office.
This was Trump back there, December 11th.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity to meet with you so that we can work together in a bipartisan way to meet the needs of the American people. I think the American people recognize that we must keep government open, that a shutdown is not worth anything, and that you should not have a Trump shutdown. You have the White House, the Trump shutdown. You have the White House. You have the Senate. You have the House of Representatives. You have the votes. You should pass it.
No, we don't have the votes, Nancy, because in the Senate we need 60 votes.
No, but in the House,
and we don't
you
have.
could bring it up right now.
Yeah, but
today.
I can't. Excuse me, but I can't get it passed in the House if it's not going to pass in the Senate. I don't want to waste time.
Well, you'll recall he said in exchange with Schumer, I'll loan it, I'll take the mantle. He reiterated that the first week of January, talking about months, maybe a year.
He also said, you said in the meeting, this is him quoting you, I just want to check, that the shutdown could go on for months or even a year or longer. Did you say that? And
I
is
did.
that your?
I did.
Is that your assessment of where we are?
That. Absolutely, I said that. I don't think it will, but I am prepared, and I think I can speak for Republicans in the House and Republicans in the Senate. They feel very strongly about having a safe country, having a border that makes sense. Without borders, I've said it many times, we don't have a country.
So I understand in a negotiation, sometimes you take a position and you walk it back a little bit. But let's just understand the positions Trump took so that we're starting from the same baseline. So I own the shutdown. I'm happy to take the mantle for border security. We have an urgent humanitarian crisis. That's in part the reason and also it would be deleveraging, which he did. That's the reason I won't do a temporary reopening to facilitate, expedite, as the argument was made, negotiations for a deal. Months, maybe a year, I'm willing to go to get this done. That's how important it is. And now in the last week, he's walked back on that, and he's capitulated on the State of the Union address, letting Nancy Pelosi set the ground rules, and him agreeing to those ground rules, no State of the Union until after the government shutdown, and now ostensibly until there's a deal that reopens the government and also gives him some of the funding that he wants. We'll see.
But he's still getting the paperwork ready to possibly declare a national emergency, which I think that's where this is heading if he wants any hope of getting his wall built.
He's kept that on the table. The problem, of course, with that is that it immediately will be litigated. Democrats will find some federal district court judge to enjoin it. And then where are you?
Exactly back where we started.
Take your calls. Marty in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know, as much as I think there's a little bit of merit to what Dennis Miller has to say. I personally, if I were Donald Trump, I wouldn't run again. Who wants to live like this? What is he, in his 70s? Yeah. He's tried everything he can. He's moved this country forward. The government is fighting the government over safety. It's just, and Donald Trump's not going to just say, oh, I quit, I'm not going to run again. But I don't think he's going to run again. I think he's going to say, you know what, I tried, I did the best I could, which he did. And it's just, he's fighting a losing battle, unfortunately.
Well, Marty, then why not go to the mat? Why not go to the mat on this?
Well, you could go to the mat, but the air traffic controllers, all of a sudden they're all calling in sick. I mean, this is what he's up against.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's up against a whole lot, and if the air traffic controllers all call in sick on the same day, the way they did in New York, what are you going to do? You're going to do like Ronald Reagan and fire them all?
Yeah, well, how did that work out? Pretty well, if I recall.
How did that work out?
It worked out pretty
very
well. Yeah, well, thanks for the call, Marty. That's my point. The point is, do you have the appetite for this or not? Do you think it was going to be easy? Do you think on the heels of their takeover of the House that Pelosi and her sidekick Pagliacci were just going to roll over? Do you understand where the Democrats have been from day one on this issue and with this president? And we're going to feign surprise? How persuasive is that?
Do you think it had anything to do with his approval rating that dropped to the lowest ever of 37%?
I don't know. I mean, but so what? 37%, 41%, 43%. You know what the difference between that is? Nothing. It's a snapshot in time 2 years before an election.
Well, what should he do in 3 weeks?
The Inside the Beltway pundits obsess about a 2 percentage point move on approval ratings or likability ratings. It's a bunch of nonsense for people who don't know what in God's name they're talking about and have, the depth of a cookie tray. Approval ratings, approval ratings, approval ratings. Let's look at the polls. Let's take a snapshot. Big deal. You know how you improve your approval ratings when you're doing something that is divisive? You say, here's what I'm going to do. I said I'm going to do this. I was elected to do this. Let me explain why this is important, reiterate it. Oh, by the way, against the backdrop of his capitulation, the one report has that latest migrant caravan swelling to 12,000 individuals making their way to the southern border. This is what I'm talking about. And so I have to go to the mat on this. I've proposed a compromise. Comprehensive. Remember, it was just last weekend I did it. As he said in announcing his capitulation, these are things Democrats have voted for before. They are playing politics with other people's lives. I'm trying to protect people's lives, both the lives of Americans as well as the lives of people who want to be Americans.
But Dan, people needed their paychecks. 1 paycheck fine, 2 paychecks. Really? And remember Plasma Girl? The IRS agent, she's not giving up her day job.
I donate plasma to make up the extra money that I just don't make. I'm not going to quit my second job yet because I don't know if this is a Band-Aid or a solution.
Yeah, here's the thing. Stipulates to, I want everybody to get paid. They have backstops that people in the private sector don't. They have a federal guarantee that you're going to get paid as soon as this thing is over. All your pay.
Right, and the checks are going to come tomorrow or at the latest Thursday.
I mean, honestly, this is a time to communicate to adults. We used to be a resilient people. Some of us still are. Hey, no one gets to live in a world without consequences. I'm sorry. If the political ruling class that I inherited when I was elected in 2016 had addressed this generations ago, then we wouldn't be in this position. But at some point, somebody has to address it. And guess what? That's going to be me. And if you don't want to reelect me because I did what everybody said we needed to do, but some people don't have the stomach for it, if it involves, I don't know, turning out craven Democrats or missing a paycheck that's you're guaranteed to receive, well, then I'm sorry. Then vote for the socialist du jour on the other side. That's something like what I just said is, to me, Trump's value proposition. And what happened last week is he became a conventional politician. And if he becomes a conventional politician, if he can't figure a way out of this to regain his brand value prop, his brand equity, he's done. Deborah in Arlington Heights.
Yes, good morning. You hit the nail on the head, though, Dan. This is a popularity contest. This is how people are now. It's all about who's popular. Social media, if you look at some of the stuff out there and see, like, the education level that so many people, I mean, the stuff that they say and the things that they don't know and the things that they pass along that aren't true. Look at Hollywood. Look at last night. I don't watch those awards, but I saw clips. You know, you've interjecting. You can't even pronounce Mueller's name right, and you're, bringing politics. Hollywood controls things. That's what it is. It's a popularity contest, and the left is winning because they're popular.
Well, thanks for the call, Deborah. Trump won the 2016 election in the face of all that. Republicans held the House and the Senate until November in the face of all that. Others have won in the face of all that before. They're not as popular as you think. They're as popular as you give them latitude to, free reign, really, to propagate their propaganda, as opposed to standing up and making the argument side by side and pushing back at every turn. And that's, again, the value add of Trump. that he's always on offense. Well, he doesn't look like he's on offense now, does he? He got to where he is by always being on offense. Republicans in godforsaken states where the party no longer exists, like Illinois or California, got to where they are, which is a dirty rumor, by capitulating at every turn, by not making arguments, by waving flags and taking positions and explaining those positions with your fortune cookie aphorisms that have no meaning to anybody. Oh, gosh, Ocasio-Cortez has 1 million followers on Twitter. She's indomitable. Give me a break. It's ridiculous. Yes, we've allowed the cultural Marxists to control all of our elite institutions. That's on us.
Well, then 3 weeks, should we do the same song and dance?
Well, Trump said he's open to another shutdown or the use of his emergency powers. But, I mean, who believes either one of those things? That's what he's been saying for the last month. So 3 weeks from now, so his position hasn't changed. He's just reopened the small percentage of the government that was shut down. Oh, by the way, this against the backdrop of no less than the Bezos Post last week opining and urging Democrats to work out a deal with the president because of what he was willing to do for DACA designees. So how is Trump's surrender to pressure any different than the surrender to pressure from the left you've seen from Republicans inside the Beltway and out for generations? How is it any different? You elected Trump against that field of 20 Republican candidates because you were tired of surrender Republicans. Has he become one? Greg in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The answer is no. He has not. I agree with every one of the dimensions that you just said, Dan, except for one point. It's 3 weeks delayed. He is based, and the previous caller that talked about social media, I think there's not the numbers of followers and things like that, but just the split in a generation and the attitude and the predominance of the media and beating it into their head. What Trump has got now in 3 weeks, when he does what he does, he'll declare an emergency. It'll go to SCOTUS. They will affirm Trump. He will get his wall, and he will have exactly what he wanted to go into the 2020 election. And thus, to reinforce the last caller's point, the country will be able to decide what kind of country we're going to be, whether the idiots are going to run it or whether people like what you have just said are going to run it. And we're going to be safe then.
All right. Thanks for the call, Greg. That's one rosy scenario. It's possible.
Yeah.
Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Yeah, Dan, I agree with that last caller, Scott. I'll tell you what, Trump, he's a smart guy. He's like a wrestler that was on the mat. He was in a chokehold. He was down on the mat and everything. He was already there. He understood it. He realized where he was at. He realized it's going nowhere. He ain't going to win from that position. He wiggled his way out of that headlock with his latest move and everything. He's back on the mat. He's up. He's ready to fight. This guy's going in a different direction. He realized that our tactic wasn't going to work. He's going to go about it different. He's probably going to go with the, he's going for the gold, man. He's going to get everything with the. If he has to go to SCOTUS or whatever it is. But that's what happened. He didn't cave. He was smart enough to realize that he's got to wiggle out and get on his feet to fight again.
All right. Thanks, Craig. Tom in Deer Park.
No. The president had Congress for 2 years and could not get the deal done. He loses Congress. Now he threatens the country with emergency powers and a shutdown. There are so many good people that have so many good ideas in the conservative stable. There are so many terrible ideas, and the terrible ideas on the left ascending further left with a bunch of awful avatars that are willing to carry them out with a larger and larger segment of the American public that's willing to vote for them. Donald Trump, I don't want to see him primaried. I don't want to see him impeached. If he steps down, let's have a primary with the decent leaders that we have in this country in the conservative movement. Get that White House in 2020, take it through 28. Otherwise, if he's the candidate, looking at the states, looking at the maps, he can't win, we lose.
All right, thanks, Tom.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
no matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
With so many homeowners fearful of poor service and not knowing who to trust, home remodeling is often delayed. But do you ever wonder why so many remodeling experiences go so wrong? Advanced Design Studio thinks remodeling shouldn't be so painful. Will the project stay on budget and be done on time? If you're nervous about home remodeling, you're not alone. Whether you're contemplating a new kitchen or bath, want an addition to your home, or in need of a whole house transformation, Advanced Design Studio is the company to call. They understand your fears and know how to overcome them. Backed by 27 years of providing positive remodeling experiences, Advanced Design's client service process, called Common Sense Remodeling, puts you first, averting delays and budget overruns to produce a rewarding remodeling experience. Make 2019 the year you overcome your fears and remodel your home, bath, or kitchen. Don't be a bad remodeling story. Use common sense and visit AdvancedDesignStudio.com for more information or call 847-836-2600.
At the CMA Foundation, we believe every child should have the access and opportunity to participate in quality music programs. I'm Sarah Evans. Music has always been a huge part of my life. Music education isn't just important if you're going to make it your career. It also helps children develop the abilities that set them up for lifelong success. Music is transformative, and I want to ensure that it is never silenced. Learn more at itstartswithme.org.
Al Kovac Jr., Navy veteran, Paralyzed Veterans of America.
You fought the good fight and served your country with valor. Now it's our turn to fight for you.
Sherman Gillums Jr., Marine Corps veteran, Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We help you secure full benefits, quality health care, and job opportunities.
To learn more, visit pva.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Does anybody really think he won't build the wall? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweeted that the night before furloughed federal workers returned to work now that the partial government shutdown is over, but another may loom. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, Congress has until February 15th now to reach a deal on border funding, or there could be another government shutdown. Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney told CBS's Face the Nation President Trump wants to find a solution.
He doesn't want to shut the government down. Let's make that very clear. He doesn't want to declare a national emergency.
House Democratic Chair Hakeem Jeffries told NBC's Meet the Press he's against a physical barrier.
That's a 5th century solution to a 21st century problem.
The president told the Wall Street Journal he thinks there's less than a 50-50 chance that Congress will reach a deal before that he'll sign before the deadline. Dave.
Rachel Roger Stone returns to court tomorrow to face charges from the special counsel, lying, obstruction, witness tampering. The former Trump campaign advisor told ABC's This Week.
If there's wrongdoing by other people in the campaign,
that I know about, which I know of none, but if there is, I would certainly testify honestly.
Stone says his contacts with President Trump were not about Russia. Senator Kamala Harris launched her Democratic campaign for president in Oakland.
When we have leaders who bully and attack a free press and undermine our democratic institutions, that's not our America.
Many other Democrats may also run for president. So might Howard Schultz. The former Starbucks CEO told CBS 60 Minutes if he makes a 2020 bid, it'll be as
a centrist independent outside of the two-party system.
Another movie gets pre-Oscar buzz.
And the actor goes to Black Panther.
There were 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards for Black Panther on TNT, including the top one, Outstanding Performance by a Cast. Rami Malek got Best Actor for Bohemian Rhapsody, Glenn Close Best Actress for The Wife. This is Fox News.
Snow showers, 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Heavy snowfall causing some big problems this morning on Chicago area roadways. Winter storm warning is in effect for Lake and McHenry County, where they could see anywhere between 6 and 9 inches of snow. A winter weather advisory is up for Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. Roads are snow-covered and slick, and 500 flights or more already canceled at O'Hare and Midway. Hundreds of schools and agencies closed throughout the Chicago area because of the severe winter weather. A list of closures can be found at emergencyclosingcenter.com. That's emergencyclosingcenter.com. Many other agencies have late starts or other arrangements. Chicagoland also bracing for record-breaking cold in midweek. National Weather Service says temps will drop well below zero beginning tomorrow night. Dr. Jeff Shader is with the Cook County Department of Emergency Medicine.
I've seen people get frostbite within 10 minutes of being outside on their ears, just walking, from one place to the next.
Wednesday, wind chills could dip as low as negative 55. In other news this morning, a driver is dead after his SUV crashes into a salt truck on Chicago's far south side. Victor Crosby ran into that salt truck at Avenue O and East 130th. A man and his dog recovering. Both fell into Lake Michigan on Chicago's north side. The victim was walking his pet along the lakefront in the 5100 block of North Simons Drive when the canine slipped on the ice and fell into the waters. Man tumbled into the lake trying to save the dog. Chicago Fire tells us that man was able to get the canine out of the water before officers showed up and dragged him out by locking arms and forming a human chain. Cavaliers over the Bulls, 104-101 last night. Lauri Markkanen led the Bulls with 21. Patrick Kane, a nice showing over the weekend at the NHL All-Star Game in San Jose. The Blackhawks forward now looks forward to several days off. Illinois men's basketball travels to Minnesota to take on the Golden Gophers Wednesday after their upset of Maryland on Saturday. Last night, DePaul lost to Providence. Loyola crushed SIU, and Illinois State beat Indiana State. The news is a service of La Quinta Inns and Suites. If you're traveling for work, make your next stop La Quinta by Wyndham. Their spacious rooms and free high-speed internet makes it easy to work, while their comfortable beds and bright-side breakfast make it easy to relax. Win at business wherever you go. Book at LQ.com. 6:04, check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hey, listen. Did you hear that? That's the sound of silence, the absent sound of your loved one's laugh, the phone that never rings, the void left because you convinced yourself their addiction was under control. Don't let the shame of addiction prevent you from addressing their disease. USA Addiction knows that the first step is the hardest. That's why they help guide you through the journey to recover with care and compassion. Their nationally certified family recovery coaches lead you every step of the way, from a free initial conversation to planning an intervention to finding the best facility that will save your loved one's life. Go to freeaddictionbook.com and enter your email to their confidential portal. You'll receive their free guide to family addiction and intervention and free consultation. And that's freeaddictionbook.com for a real solution to prevent that heartache. Now is the time to take action. USA Addiction, helping Americans one step at a time.
I'd love to hear more. Do you have a card?
This is it. This is when you can either let something happen or make it happen with your professional custom card from Vistaprint. Right now, you can get 500 business cards personalized the way you want them, starting at just $9.99. You pick the look, the style, and the statement you want to make in the moment. Now is the time to make something happen for your business. So, own the now with 500 custom business cards starting at $9.99 at Vistaprint.com. Just use promo code 4400. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 4400.
36 days. That's how long it takes the average company to find their next hire. Glassdoor can help you quickly find the right job candidate in half the resumes. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. And Glassdoor hires are committed. They're 30% more likely to stay with your business longer. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Dan Proft here.
And I'm Amy Jacobson, and we wanted to take a minute to say thanks. Thank you to each and every one of you who participated in our annual Food for the Poor campaign.
Because of you, we were able to raise more than $175,000 to provide food for a year and clean water for life for more than 2,200 children and their families in Haiti.
And we're especially grateful to the many business benefactors who supported this campaign. When you hear their ads on this station, we'd ask that you support their business as a way of thanking them for their generosity. And just because the Christmas season is over,
and we're starting a new year, that doesn't mean the need goes away. You can still make a $50 donation to Food for the Poor.
Just call 844-862-4673. That's 844-862-4673.
Or visit 560theanswer.com/food. That's 560theanswer.com/food. And thanks again for your generosity.
Winter or summer, rain or shine, with the Peloton bike, it's always the perfect weather to sweat. And with up to 14 live rides a day and over 10,000 more on demand, nothing will get between you and your workout. Learn more about the Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom.
6:08 and a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
The snow is making for a very heavy commute on the inbound Kennedy with snow on the roadway. It's about 55 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Edens runs about 35 minutes from Lake Cook to the Kennedy. Eisenhower now about an hour from 390 to downtown Chicago. Stevenson an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 46 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Vision Ford an hour from 8094 to the Rhine. It's slow going and snowing all the tollways, also in northwest Indiana. Southbound I-65 is closed just north of Rensselaer due to a major wreck just before the exit at State Road 14. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory today. Clouds, breezy, snow tapering off to flurries, 1 to 2 inches. High 35. Temperatures drop to the 20s. Cloudy, brisk, very cold tonight, low 0. Breezy and cold tomorrow. Sun and patchy clouds, high 3. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
19 at O'Hare, 22 along the lakefront, and 21 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k rollover specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. You know who should be negotiating a border security funding deal for President Trump? This 10-year-old kid named Ace Davis.
And why is that, Dan?
Ace Davis, he's the young man who's made national news. The story's gone viral because of a science project.
Oh, yeah, the 3-panel science project.
Proving Tom Brady's a cheater.
Uh-huh.
And it's perfect timing. And we're in Super Bowl week here. So I've interviewed Nobel Peace Prize winners.
Yeah.
Elie Wiesel.
I've interviewed presidents, yes.
Presidents, vice presidents, captains of industry, Hollywood celebrities. world leaders.
Margaret Thatcher, I got that under my belt.
NATO Secretary General. Never in any interview I've done on the radio has this happened. But it happened.
Okay, tell us what did you do for the show, Dan, for our show?
I paid an appearance fee to get 10-year-old Ace Davis on the show. Is you charging an appearance? I love this, actually.
It's brilliant.
Appearance fee to be on the show. The appearance fee goes to his college fund.
And he also has a website, too.
Oh,
but we'll get to that. And
no,
what you
yeah.
can- yeah.
Ace-Davis.com. You can watch the Super Bowl with Ace Davis.
And interact with him. I'm sure there's a fee associated with it. May or maybe not. We'll find out because
it's probably just all merchandising now. Ace Davis mugs and koozies and T-shirts and hoodies.
Keychains.
I love it. Between him and his dad, I mean, this kid should be the NFL commissioner, not just because he proved what we all know to be true, that Tom Brady's a cheater, and that he should have the Super Bowl title from 2 years ago stripped. But, I mean, the business sense here, the business savvy.
Ingenuity is great for 10-year-old.
All right, here's his science project. This is about Deflategate. So it's a couple years old, but it's never overdue to mete out some justice, and that's what Ace Davis did scientifically. Ace Davis joins us now. Ace, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
So tell us about your science project, why you decided to tackle the chore of proving that Tom Brady cheated when he used those deflated footballs.
My dad wanted to find something cool for me, and I am a big science junkie, so me and my cousins have this rivalry, like Patriots against Buccaneers every time we meet up, and he just was like Deflategate, and boom.
All right, so what did you do to prove that he cheated? Just walk us through the science project.
Okay, so we had 3 different balls, 1 5-pound, another 1 7-pound, and 1 9-pound. We found out that you could throw the 5-pounder farther, catch easier, and hit the target easier. The 7-pound was a little bit harder than the 5-pound, and the 9-pound, since I play football, it wasn't even that hard either.
And the 9-pound, is that the official weight of the NFL football?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 9-pound that's what the ball they're supposed to play with, and Brady was playing with a ball that had less air in it. Thus, it was easier to be
throw
accurate,
the ball farther.
throw farther. Mm-hmm. Right. He's an old man, though, Ace. He needs to be able to, have a little bit of an advantage to keep up with the young quarterbacks like Jared Goff, who's squaring up against in the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, do you like Tom Brady? Did you have some sort of personal vendetta against him, or do you like him and you just wanted to focus in on the science of football?
I don't hate him. I just dislike him.
That's an important distinction to make.
Right. So obviously you want the Rams to win the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how was your science project received? You obviously there's a competition with respect to these science projects, so how'd you do?
So I pretty much presented it to the person who was judging me, and he really liked it.
Were you the only person? Because I don't know of anybody who's done Deflategate as a science project. Do you?
No.
And you got an A, I take it, or you won the science fair?
I won the science fair.
You won. Congratulations on that. So now you go to regionals, right?
I go to state.
Oh, you go right to state. Oh, well, excuse me.
Impressive.
When I did my science project, I did a program.
Wait, no, I go to district.
Oh, district.
I go to district.
Yeah.
Okay. And when are you going to district?
We haven't really opened that up yet.
Okay. Now, when you go and you present your science project, I see the 3 panels there. That's standard. But do you have the actual footballs there so the judge can see for himself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you want to hear about the science project I did when I was in grade school, Ace?
Sure.
Okay, thanks. So I did a computer program, and now this is back, like, really at the advent of computers. I did a computer program to identify leaves, like different leaves on trees.
Oh, really?
Isn't that exciting?
Did you have a 3-panel?
No,
The cardboard
I did.
panel? You
Yeah,
did,
I had
yeah.
a 3-panel. Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to? Would you like me to send you my program for leaf identification, Ace?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so Ace, you've got this website, ace-davis.com, and tell us about that.
So we're gonna be doing a watch party on the Super Bowl,
Is
and we're gonna hang out.
Is Roger Goodell going to be there by any chance?
I don't think so.
No. Have you heard from the NFL league office about your project? Have they tried to shut you down? Have they tried to intimidate you at all? Push you around because Tom Brady's so important to the NFL cash machine?
They're pretty cool with it.
They're pretty cool with it.
So
Oh,
how has your life changed? Who's been calling you? What's been going on since you presented this science project?
Just been getting a lot of fame and a lot of attention.
Mhm.
That's pretty much.
Besides Dan and Amy who are calling you now, who has called you to congratulate you on your project?
The Rams.
My dad doesn't really open much.
Yeah, his dad is his agent.
Oh,
you gotta
I
have
see.
you gotta have a gatekeeper. That makes perfect sense. So, Ace, who is your favorite football team, by the way?
The Buccaneers.
Oh, Tampa Bay. So, you think Jameis Winston? He plays on the up and up, no cheating there by Winston.
Yep.
Okay, all right. It distinguishes Jameis Winston from Tom Brady. Now, let me ask you this, Ace: are you thinking, because of all the attention you're getting now, and particularly if you win district and then win state with the science project, maybe getting a show on Netflix or Amazon, like a science show, like Bill Nye the Science Guy, and then just dropping out of school at 10, just focusing on your career?
Oh. I don't think my mom would be very cool with that.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably.
Yeah,
With
probably
dropping
not.
out of school.
Yeah. All right, stay in school, Ace.
Do you think Tom Brady should have gotten a bigger punishment? He was found guilty. He was sidelined for 4 games during the 2016 season. Do you think he should have been kicked out of the league or suspended for that season?
Yes.
And had the Super Bowl title, taken from the Patriots because he cheated.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
So are you going to school today, Ace?
No.
Oh, all right.
All right. Well, he's got a lot of work to do. So, Ace, have you heard from the Patriots organization? Does Bob Kraft giving your dad a call? Anybody in the front office?
No.
No. All right. So they're not overly concerned. You have a prediction for this Sunday's Super Bowl. What is your prediction? What's going to happen? We've got a lot of degenerate gamblers that listen to this show, and so they'd like to know.
Todd Gurley's going to go off. The Rams are going to win 30-14.
30 to 14?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
let me
got
write
it.
that down.
Yeah.
All right.
So Todd Gurley is going to go off. How many touchdowns is Gurley going to have? I got a prop bet there.
2.
2 touchdowns for Todd Gurley. Got it. All right, very good. And then Brady, what's going to have? What's Brady going to do? Touchdowns, interceptions. What's he going to do?
I think 1 interception.
1 interception
from either Quinn Talib or Marcus Peters.
Oh, specific. Who's going to pick it off? That's great for prop bets. All right, Talib or Marcus Peters got that. All right, I'm going to make a killing. Okay, this is great. And then, again, people who can watch the game with you and see your predictions come true at ace-davis.com. That's the website. And Ace, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with your science project. Continued success. And thank you for bringing Tom Brady to justice. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, you have a good day. Thanks, Ace.
Thanks.
Love interviewing 10-year-old boys. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye with an absolutely free consultation. Text START to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use advanced FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK for as low as $220 per eye. Text START to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's START to 350-350.
Another year has come and gone, and if you're a business owner and still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system, listen closely. You and your employees suffer every time something goes wrong with your network, and in most cases, it can take days to hire an IT person to fix it. Maybe you've been lucky and everything's running fine, but how long will that last? Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. But it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Turnkey IT can help make 2019 the year you've prepared for anything technology throws at you. You'll be set up for success and get in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. Turnkey specializes in preventative steps to keep you going. So get on it. For a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company when you have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your system. Even if you have a current IT company, a second opinion never hurts. So leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
National competition for your business is eating away at your customer base faster than you can keep up. It's as if they have a back room of digital marketing minions swallowing your customers one by one. And it's not a pretty sight. What if you could beat them with your own minions? The digital marketing experts of Salem Surround make it happen. Surrounding potential customers with your message wherever they engage, search, surf, socialize, or review. Take the mystery of digital marketing out of your busy schedule. Salem Surround delivers the customers so you can run your business, making every digital dollar count towards sales success. When you're ready to reach an endless number of customers and achieve total market penetration for increased ROI, get in touch with Salem Surround. You'll get a free analysis of your digital marketing effectiveness and suggested methods that could dramatically increase your sales. Learn more by logging on to surroundchicago.com. Surroundchicago.com, connecting you with new customers.
You've invested a lot in your company's resources and reputation, so it's a logical next step to consider implementing or upgrading a commercial security system to protect your company and assets. Of course, you want to maximize ROI, so it's important to weigh the pros and cons of a business security system and determine how simple or complex of a system your business may need. Business security systems range in size and scale from simple individual alarm and camera systems to fully integrated complex designs that incorporate access control, CCTV, and management from a single platform across multiple sites. 2 Secure Inc., Chicagoland's business security experts, use the newest technology and can reduce costs by reusing your existing hardware and cable infrastructure. 2 Secure is offering a free, no-obligation, live, on-site CCTV demo. See for yourself how a new or upgraded security system can work for your business. Call 708-990-4408 or visit 2secure.com, 708-990-4408, or online at the number 2secureinc.com.
My name is Sophia, and my mom is one of the 220,000 in Illinois living with Alzheimer's. I'm constantly thinking about her, and when I heard 60% of those diagnosed with Alzheimer's will wander at some point, I was worried. Silver Search is a new tool in Illinois to help locate those missing with Alzheimer's or another dementia. Go to silversearchillinois.org to learn more on how Illinois is working to protect its citizens and learn how you can help.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
The most popular days to get engaged are Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day. And guys, finding the perfect wedding venue can be harder to figure out than the color and quality of the perfect diamond. With love in the air, Avante Banquets is here to help you plan the wedding of your dreams for the party of a lifetime at a price right for you. Avante Banquets is part of the family-owned Chicago Prime Restaurants, with a picturesque location opened just last year near Barrington, providing fine American dining and a timeless experience. Avante is an exceptional space for your wedding or corporate events and fundraisers, for an intimate gathering, or parties of 500 or more. The calendar is filling up, so secure your date today at AvanteBanquets.com. That's AVANTE Banquets.com. With wedding packages starting at just $39 a person. Experience exceptional hospitality with the Calcunos family at Avante Banquets, because classic never goes out of style. AvanteBanquets.com. AvanteBanquets.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah. I've been a fan of Kristen Cinema since her days in Apollonia 6. She is, and remember her in Purple Rain on the back of Prince's motorcycle? Oh, yeah.
I saw that movie 12 times.
Yeah.
That's why there's something wrong with me.
We got a sex shooter on the Senate floor, Amy.
I don't know if you saw it, but she took to the Senate floor wearing a very peculiar outfit, something that you'd save for the clubs. It was a dress mini skirt, sleeveless, so you can see those arms, those gams, or what you call that, right?
No, gams would be legs. But okay.
Well, on her legs, on her gams, she had the Puss in Boots. If you ever saw the movie Puss in Boots, those are the boots that she wore. They're above the knee, thigh high, but they're very thick. It was like a brown suede type of thing where you can see 4 inches between the blank length skirt and where the thigh high boots started. It was a stripper outfit, and people were saying she looks like a stripper.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I would ask the question. She's a senator from Arizona. No, seriously. I would ask the question, do all of her Senate floor speeches feature strobe lighting and Calvin Harris electro house music? I haven't heard her on the Senate floor, so if anybody knows, we'll take your calls on that.
Yeah, 312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. Can't they censure her? Can't they implement a dress code or something? Does she know about the word decorum? Because I honestly think that John McCain is rolling over in his grave right now. I mean, clearly she's trying to get a guy or a girl because she is the first openly bisexual senator.
Yeah, now she can't shake Tammy Baldwin. There's a lot of calls, a lot of late night calls from Tammy Baldwin ever since this picture went viral. Yeah, no, I think, good. This is idiocracy. You know, it's trash in, trash out. So why not from our politicians? Why, who else can work that out? Dick Durbin. I see Dick Durbin in thigh highs.
In the thigh high boots and a miniskirt? Yeah.
No.
But I mean, this, and then even the outfit that she wore for her swearing in, I didn't really have a problem with that because she is who she is. But I don't think she cares about the people of Arizona. She cares about getting likes on Twitter and Facebook, because she obviously, this was a provocative move for her to wear this slut outfit on the Senate floor.
Hello.
Well, come on, that's embarrassing.
You know what this is? She's like wants to be like the hot thing in D.C. and against a bunch of octogenarians, that's sort of a low bar. And so she does this. I mean, this is a self-esteem problem that she has, clearly. And a class problem that she has in terms of lacking it. But that's okay. By the way, some pushback too on Twitter over the weekend. Hey. Freedom of expression. Let's stick to policy. Let's not criticize people's appearance. Let's just stick to policy. You know what I say to that? No, I won't. And here's why. Ridiculing politicians is an antidote to the ruling class mentality. So politicians' behavior and presentation matter, just as they matter with everyone in the real world. So no, we're not just going to stick to policy. I know that's a nice sort of lifetime statement to make, but no, your presentation and your behavior matter. All fair game.
And she couldn't wear this to many corporate offices. She would be pulled over in the corner like, you need to change. We have a solid dress code here.
There is now a movie that's already in production about Kristen Cinema's life. Here's a portion of the trailer.
This spring,
there are some very funny people out there.
the only way to succeed in life
Does he look sexy?
It does to me, George.
is to put your best foot forward.
I give you the Kinky Boot Factory!
Thank you.
Kinky Boots.
Can I just ask, are you a man?
I am, love, yes.
So it's a bit of a surprise ending.
And real quick fashion tip for her. Pink, because if you look closely at that dress, it was pink and light blue. Doesn't go with brown suede. Just a little heads up on that.
Jimmy on the Edens.
Hey, if you believe what's true about Kamala Harris, what did she do? Did she get a leg up or a leg spread to sleep with?
Hello,
hey,
hello, hey, oh, hey,
We're not
yes.
even talking about Kamala.
How about Willie Brown, huh, Jimmy? Thanks for the call. Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Was the SEAL Team 6 raid on Roger Stone necessary? And we'll also have a bit of a discussion about the case before him, or the case against him at 6:36.
And what happened to Roger Stone's dog? But first, into the newsroom, here is Mike Scott.
You would not believe the arcane rules of what you can and cannot wear on the Senate floor. It's amazing. What's also amazing is our heavy snowfall that is causing problems this morning in the Chicago area. Roadways, O'Hare, Midway, winter storm warning for Lake and McHenry counties, winter weather advisory for Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. Hundreds of schools and agencies are closed throughout the Chicago area. Many others have late starts or other arrangements. All of those details can be found at emergencyclosingcenter.com. In other news we're following this morning, the Taliban says the U.S. has agreed on a draft peace plan that would see all foreign troops out of Afghanistan in the next 18 months. The draft agreement today comes after talks between the Taliban and U.S. envoy Zalman Khalilzad in Qatar. Talks aimed at ending that 17-year-old war. President Trump is not holding out much hope that he and Congress will agree on funding for a border wall in less than 3 weeks, giving it 50-50 odds. California Senator Kamala Harris is officially running for president.
Lord knows I am not perfect, but I will always speak with decency and moral clarity and treat all people with dignity and respect.
Harris launching her campaign at a rally in Oakland yesterday. Meantime, former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz is bowling right down the middle as a presidential independent.
You know, I've been a lifelong Democrat. I look at both parties. We see extremes on both sides.
Schultz served as CEO from Starbucks during several portions of the time between 1986 and 2017. Suspect in a Louisiana killing spree is under arrest. 21-year-old Dakota Terrio was arrested yesterday in Richmond County, Virginia. Now 32 confirmed cases of measles in Washington, the state of Washington, where Governor Jay Inslee has declared a state of emergency. In other news, in the Chicago area this morning, a driver is dead after his SUV crashes into a salt truck on Chicago's far south side. Bail set at over $1 million for a Chicago man wanted in a deadly Texas shooting last summer. Amon Williams appeared in court yesterday after being arrested on Friday. Chicago sports found the Cavaliers over the Bulls, 104-101. Patrick Kane, a nice weekend at the NHL All-Star Weekend. Now the Blackhawks have 4 days off. Fighting Illini traveled to Minnesota to take on the Golden Gophers Wednesday after their upset of number 16 Maryland on Saturday. Also on Sunday, DePaul lost to Providence. Loyola over SIU. Illinois State beat Indiana State in the Valley. The news service of Peloton, live studio classes in the comfort of your own home. Peloton is a game-changing indoor cycling bike that brings the energy of live studio classes right to your home anytime you want. Learn more about the Peloton bike, onepeloton.com, or visit your local showroom. 6:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Winter stinks. Snow, ice, freezing temperatures. more snow. Escape Chicago and join Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. You'll stay at the Marvel Residences Luxury Resort in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. It's a beautiful, all-inclusive resort located between Rainforest Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Don't wait to book your Passport to Paradise trip with AM 560 and Apple Vacations. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Question: do you have a health insurance plan you are not happy with? Well, Bethany and Jason thought they were stuck. Their plan just kept getting more expensive, and Bethany's favorite doctor didn't even take that plan anymore. And then some friends at church told them about Medi-Share.
With our previous insurance, we were paying $1,200 a month. With Medi-Share, we now pay around $600 a month.
Yes, they're paying $600 less per month, and that's a pretty typical savings with Medi-Share. And they actually like Medi-Share more.
I was able to go back to my original doctor that I absolutely loved, and it's just been an absolutely beautiful thing being a part of Medi-Share.
Yeah, so they pay a lot less and they like it more. No wonder Medi-Share is growing so fast. Find out more. They're super easy to talk to. All you have to do is call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
6:38. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Hundreds of flights are canceled this morning, and it's slow going on the roadways due to the snow. The Edens runs about 50 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Kennedy, about an hour and 17 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, a little quicker than the Express. I found 50 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 15 minutes, 390 to downtown. I found an hour 10. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The exit to Ryan is blocked with spinouts. Ryan from 95th to downtown runs about 40 to 50 minutes. I-57, 46 minutes. I-80 to merge Bishopport, an hour and 5 minutes. It's slow going throughout the area on the tollways. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, snow tapers to flurries. 1 to 2 more inches in the Chicago area, a little less than that south of I-80. A little more than that, 3 to 6 more inches near the Wisconsin border, a high of 35. We will tumble to 0 overnight, only a high of 3 tomorrow, 24 below tomorrow night, and a high only of minus 15 on Wednesday. Snow and 19 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So at the beginning of our show on Friday, you had a Osama bin Laden style raid on Roger Stone's home in Fort Lauderdale. Federal government taking him into custody.
Yeah, it's like he was a mass murderer on, a flight risk.
And he was later arraigned and released on a surety bond with his signature. So, public enemy number one, and he walks out the door the same day on a surety bond. A little strange, but is it really? It's a show of force. We get it. We said it on Friday. It's just as true today.
But they had a helicopter, 2 armored vehicles, and 29 armed agents who stormed into his house.
Yeah, and that's Alan Dershowitz. We'll hear from Roger Stone. He was on with Clinton Foundation Donor Zero on Sunday to show you how much of a flight risk he is. This guy loves doing interviews as much as Trump does. Alan Dershowitz on the arrest, talking about the case as well on Fox over the weekend. I guess we'll have to get to Alan Dershowitz on the arrest. We don't have that. All right, Alan Dershowitz talking about the indictment itself, the actual case, typical of Mueller. Don't have that either. Okay, let's see if we can do something here. Technical difficulties.
I think it's good. Well, I've read the indictment, and it's a typical Mueller indictment. Very, very heavy on stories involving collusion and WikiLeaks. But the indictment itself all relates to obstruction of justice, tampering of witnesses. In other words, crimes that occurred as a result of the investigation. This is typical of Mueller. He has found almost no crimes that occurred before he was appointed special counsel. He was appointed special counsel to uncover crimes that had already occurred. He has virtually failed in that respect in every regard.
It's important. It's not to say that crimes committed during the investigation aren't crimes. That's not what Dershowitz is saying. But it is important to remember he's retained, he's appointed to focus on crimes that were committed. And what do we have? We have people that he's interviewed who have lied to the FBI or alleged, as is Roger Stone, of witness tampering with respect to trying to uncover crimes that haven't been uncovered, that haven't been identified. The Associated Press, no less. First graph of their story over the weekend. Donald Trump confidant Roger Stone may be accused of lying and tampering with witness, but it's equally notable what he's not charged with. Colluding with the Kremlin in a grand conspiracy to help Trump win the presidency in 2016. He's not charged with that.
No, in fact, the 25-page indictment, it does not say that the Trump campaign coordinated with Russian efforts to sway the 2016 election. So where did the Associated Press come up with that? Because if that's their narrative, that's what they want to believe happened?
No. What are you talking about? The Associated Press say he's not charged with. What he's not charged with. He's accused of lying and tampering with witness, but it's notable what he's not charged with. That's the Associated Press reporting the obvious that is completely walked past by the likes of Adam Schiff and congressional Democrats. That's the point. And basically, Dershowitz's point is to explain what Mueller's really trying to do here.
The object of these arrests is not to get people like Manafort or people like Stone. It's to get them to sing and perhaps even to compose.
That last piece is perfect. It's one thing to turn them to sing, but even to compose, to create the basis to implicate the president.
And that's what, Roger Stone, too, said, would you cooperate with Mueller in this investigation when he was on with This Week with George Stephanopoulos?
That's a question I'd have to determine after my attorneys have some discussion. If there's wrongdoing by other people in the campaign that I know about, which I know of none, but if there is, I would certainly testify honestly. I'd also testify honestly about any other matter, including any communications with the president. It's true that we spoke on the phone, but those communications are political in nature, they're benign, and there is certainly no conspiracy with Russia.
And so just to reset here, this is about WikiLeaks releasing emails, John Podesta emails, that they obtained reportedly from a Russian source. And Stone and Jerome Corsi communicating with Julian Assange or other cutouts to synchronize the timing of the release of those emails.
To coincide after that Access Hollywood tape was released.
And in general,
okay.
Yes.
Is that illegal?
Has he been charged with that? Has he been charged? No. He hasn't been charged with that.
I mean, opposition research, everybody does that. You don't think the Clintons were getting things on Trump? on an hourly basis, or trying to at least?
In the indictment, there are examples where what Stone said is contradicted by the evidence presented. For example, he testified before Congress that he never sent or received emails or text messages from Randy Credico, who was a longtime friend and was allegedly his source for one of his sources for information about WikiLeaks and related WikiLeaks activity. And in point of fact, the very day that Stone testified, he had never sent or received emails or text messages from Credico. They had exchanged more than 30 text messages. So that's a problem. So do you have Stone lying under oath? Yeah, potentially you do. It looks like it from the indictment. Now, you just heard the clip from his appearance on This Week, where he suggests, well, though that's the typical I misremembered and other things that look like they're criminal in nature or contradict testimony I've provided under oath, where they're just really being misinterpreted. Yeah, Roger Stone is a colorful figure. How colorful is he? Well, for example, one of his character witnesses was on with Chris Cuomo over the weekend. She's the Manhattan Madam, Kristen Davis. Remember her?
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah, they split they had a Manhattan duplex together, which I guess they no longer have. But yeah, she was on to I guess
to support
provide character testimony for Roger Stone. Roger Stone on the topic on whether or not Trump is implicated, because really that's what this matters. I mean, Roger Stone is a rich and varied and colorful character, to be quite generous, and I was less generous on Friday. I'm no fan of Roger Stone or Jerome Corsi or a lot of the people Trump chose to surround himself with.
Yeah, he's a self-proclaimed dirty trickster.
But the only thing that really matters about this ultimately is whether or not Trump was involved, and Roger Stone was asked that question again by Stephanopoulos. Here's what he said.
I never discussed this matter with candidate Trump or President Trump, as I told you previously.
Yeah, you said
George,
that to me.
And that remains the case. Yeah.
Right. So never discussed it. Okay. Any conversations with Trump regarding POTUS, with POTUS regarding Mueller or Russia.
But have you ever had any conversations with the president during the campaign or since the campaign about Russia or the Mueller investigation?
None whatsoever.
Zero.
Categorically.
Zero. You know, the president...
Zero.
This had nothing to do with Trump, says Stone.
No, not really. I mean, when Sarah Sanders says this has nothing to do with the president, she is correct. I never discussed these matters with the president. And everything that I did regarding trying to get as much public attention to the WikiLeaks disclosures among voters, among the media, is constitutionally protected free speech. That's what I engaged in. It's called politics, and they haven't criminalized it, at least not yet.
That's the argument he's making, criminalizing politics. And there's an argument to be made on that score, and it doesn't necessarily absolve him of lying under oath. The witness
can't do that, but
witness tampering is maybe more of a stretch. But Stone, on the possibility of a pardon, is that ever discussed?
But if there is, I would certainly testify honestly. I'd also testify honestly about any other matter, including any communications with the president. It's true that we spoke on the phone, but those communications are political in nature, they're benign, and there is certainly no conspiracy with Russia. The president's right. There is no Russian collusion.
And he's never suggested to you in any way, shape, or form that he might offer you a pardon?
Absolutely, positively not. I have never discussed a pardon.
And I'm still having a hard time processing the raid that went down. A nonviolent offenses. He has an expired passport, and they scared his dog, Dan.
This was an egregious overreach by Mr. Mueller. The FBI director who had to have approved this raid should, in my opinion, be fired over it because it was unwarranted. I guess it's an effort to intimidate me, but I am not intimidated. I am concerned for my wife, and one of my dogs is still traumatized, will not come out from under the bed, and won't stop shaking.
Yeah, and Dershowitz confirmed that that's what they do. That's what the feds do. They're looking to intimidate.
Normally, the situation is you call the lawyer, you tell the lawyer, look, he's been indicted. Please show up at the federal court tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and maybe they keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't run away. But in cases like this, you don't typically see arrests of this kind. Look, Rudy Giuliani himself is guilty of having done that. You remember the case back when he went after Goldman Sachs executive and had him handcuffed and arrested in the Goldman Sachs office, and then it turned out there was no case to be brought against him. So this is something that prosecutors do a lot in order to intimidate witnesses.
Yeah, and mess with the jury. I mean, if the potential jurors see that, they're like, oh, this must be a really bad guy.
Public enemy number one.
Yeah.
That's what necessitated this, by air and by land and by sea raid. Stone, here's Roger Stone on the indictment. So if you're not familiar with Roger Stone, you get a little kind of angle in terms of his color.
This indictment is thin as piss on a rock.
There you go.
I watched that interview yesterday, too, and I went, did he just say, and Peyton and Neil like, yeah, piss on a rock.
And
okay.
this is not to rally to the defense of Roger Stone. It's only to point out that what Dershowitz said in part about the nature of the Mueller investigation, what it's produced so far, and specifically with respect to the charges against Stone and the statements you heard from Stone, not that they should be taken on face value, but they're relevant. Where's the connection? Where's the collusion, which was the original charge of Mueller? There isn't one. And importantly, Stone hasn't been charged with anything related to that. Jim in Huntley, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. Just wondering why they didn't send in so much hardware, guns, bulletproof vests, helicopters and stuff when they arrested on federal charges Alderman Burke.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Jim. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I guess so. He's obviously a storied, dedicated public servant. So that's why, I suppose.
Maybe because he had bodyguards, police detail. So if he tried to flee, his bodyguard buddies would stop him.
Jerome Corsi was on with Jake Tapper. He's this other author, investigator, political gadfly type. He, again, talking about the conversations with Stone. Corsi potentially, ultimately, a witness against Stone. Stone said no direct connections to WikiLeaks. He just used what was publicly available and tried to amplify it. Corsi saying he never had any communications with WikiLeaks. He was no cutout to WikiLeaks either. So again, how do you make a collusion case out of what Corsi and Stone have to offer? I guess you don't, because Stone hasn't been charged with anything related to that. Here's Corsi.
And I made an honest effort to go through everybody I was in communication with in 2016 to see if there was anybody directly or indirectly that was providing me information from WikiLeaks. And I can't find anyone, and the special counselor couldn't suggest anyone. So I'm concluding that my recollection is correct, namely that I did just connect the dots and figure it out on my own. And I admit that's hard to accept. People are going to have a hard time understanding that. But throughout my life, I've been having this ability, deductively or inductively, to really understand situations. And remarkably, often I'm correct. And Assange himself has affirmed recently that, by name, Jerome Corsi had no contact with him or with WikiLeaks about the 2016 election or the Podesta emails.
And let me just say again, I'm not suggesting anybody take what Roger Stone or Jerome Corsi has to say at face value. I am suggesting that it is noteworthy that Mueller has no charges pending against Corsi because he's cooperating. Mm-hmm. And the charges against Stone have nothing to do with anything he did prior to Trump's election and have only to do with what he is alleged to have done during Mueller's investigation. George in Moni, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan. This guy, okay, first off, 32 guys, 19, something like that, vehicles. They got. What did this cost the American taxpayer, first off? And the guy was out on bail by, 1 in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Thanks for the call,
He came out and he had his Nixon victory sign. But did you notice when he did that, his shirt went way up? Nobody needs to see that. They do make larger shirts.
$250,000 surety bond. So he had to post Public Enemy number one had to post 25. Had to post $250,000 surety bond, but basically, 10%, 25 grand, and sign on the dotted line, and he walked out the front door.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. An interest rate announcement expected this week from the Fed. The president donates $100,000 of his salary to alcoholism research. Those stories next.
Hi, we're here with Alexander Green, four-time best-selling author and chief investment strategist of the Oxford Club. Alex is a stock-picking legend. He calls 6 of the best stocks of the past 20 years, including Apple, Intuitive Surgical, Netflix, Varian, Amazon, and Celgene. Now, Alex, I understand you're targeting a new stock.
Yes, it's a cutting-edge tech company making blockbuster deals. I'm talking about $450 million with Nokia, $395 million with Microsoft, and a $29.2 billion deal with Apple. The company is set to create 50,000 new jobs right here in America, and Donald Trump himself even calls what they're doing the 8th wonder of the world. Yet you've likely never even heard of it because this $3 stock trades under a secret name.
Alex just got on stage in front of a packed crowd to talk about this secret stock, and you can see his free presentation at OneStockRetirement.com. Don't wait on this. We expect the stock to make big national news in March. Go to OneStockRetirement.com now.
The Fed's Open Market Committee holding a 2-day meeting this week and releasing its decision on the direction of interest rates Wednesday. They're expected to do nothing. President Trump donating his salary from the third quarter of 2018 to the federal agency that researches alcohol-related problems. The president's older brother died in 1981 after he struggled with alcoholism. In 2016, President Trump pledged as a candidate to not accept the $400,000 annual presidential salary. With Valentine's Day less than 3 weeks away, an iconic item is missing from store shelves. They're called Sweethearts, the little heart-shaped candy with messages on them. It fell victim to bankruptcy. Necco filed bankruptcy last year. An Ohio company then bought the rights, but didn't have time enough to get them back on the shelves. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Oh, hello. Lincoln here. You know, these days, you just can't believe everything you read on the internet. Fact is, today we find ourselves fighting a cybersecurity war. So it's important you remember online safety measure tips available at ready.illinois.gov. With malware for none and cyber protection for all, this is your humble servant, Abraham Lincoln.
Sponsored by IEMA.
Oh, hey.
Hey, did you hear? My friend's company was the victim of an email impersonation attack.
It's a serious threat to every business.
What if cybercriminals target us and trick accounting into making a wire transfer?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda.
So we're secured?
Yeah. Barracuda uses artificial intelligence to detect and block spear phishing and account takeover attempts.
What a relief.
Don't become a victim. Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Selfless service is the guiding principle that drives Army National Guard soldiers to be always ready whenever disaster strikes. They are your next-door neighbors and your colleagues in schools, offices, and factories. To be a Guard soldier is to stand ready to serve at all times for family, for community, and for country. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com or contact an Army National Guard recruiter in your area. Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard, aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
They'll return to work and finally get paid. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Furloughed federal workers back on the job now that the government shutdown's over.
We hope that by the end of this week, all of the back pay
will be made up. And, of course, the next payroll will go out on time.
Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney on CBS Face the Nation. Another shutdown could happen again when funding runs out February 15th. President Trump gives the odds of Congress striking a compromise at less than 50-50.
No wall, all wall, halfway in between. Let the professionals tell us what it takes to keep us safe.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, a bipartisan committee will negotiate, but Democrats have so far refused any wall funding. Republican Congressman Steve Scalise says
we have to have a real specific conversation about how much money they will support.
Roger Stone will return to court tomorrow. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave Stone, a longtime associate of President Trump, will be arraigned on a 7-count indictment accusing him of lying to the House Select Committee on Intelligence and of witness tampering. Stone told ABC This Week he's not ruling out cooperating with the special counsel.
If there's wrongdoing by other people in the campaign that I know about, which I know of none, but if there is, I would certainly testify honestly.
Prosecutors say Stone pressured an associate to lie to the committee about contacts with Organization One, believed to be WikiLeaks. Stone denies the charges. Dave.
Rachel, Democratic Senator Kamala Harris launched her run for president in California.
The American dream and our American democracy are under attack and on the line like never before.
But another possible 2020 candidate is upstaging her. Howard Schultz, the former Starbucks CEO, told CBS 60 Minutes he's considering running as an independent.
I am not in any way in bed with a party.
Democrats are critical of Schultz. Julian Castro is also running for president, told CNN.
Essentially, it would provide Donald Trump with his best hope of getting reelected.
This is Fox News.
Snow showers and 20 degrees. 7:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Heavy snowfall causing big problems this morning on Chicago area roadways, and flights over 500 canceled at O'Hare and more at Midway. Winter storm warning remains in effect for Lake and McHenry counties, where some spots could see up to 9 inches of snow, and a winter weather advisory is in effect for Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. Hundreds of schools and agencies are closed throughout the Chicago area. Many others have late starts or other arrangements because of the severe winter weather, and a list of closures, a full list, can be found at emergencyclosingcenter.com. That's emergencyclosingcenter.com. But it's not the snow that has many worried, it's the cold. National Weather Service says temps will drop well below zero beginning tomorrow night. Dr. Jeff Shader is with the Cook County Department of Emergency Medicine.
I've seen people get frostbite within 10 minutes of being outside on their ears, just walking, from one place to the next.
Temperatures of 15 below could shatter the record of 11 below for Wednesday. In other news, we're following a man and his dog recovering after both fell into Lake Michigan on Chicago's north side. The victim was walking his pet when the canine slipped on ice and fell into the icy waters, and the man tumbled in trying to save the dog. Both were rescued. Parishioners are trying to save Sunday morning Mass at the second oldest Catholic church in Chicago. Hundreds signed a petition on the altar yesterday asking Cardinal Blaise Cupich to keep Mass at Holy Family Church on the near west side.
They're causing more suspicion among one another, downright hostility, and this change is not going to help people to trust one another, but rather to distrust.
The Archdiocese of Chicago announcing last week they're merging Holy Family with nearby Notre Dame this summer as part of a restructuring plan. Bulls fall to the Cavaliers, 104-101. College hoops was DePaul losing to Providence, Loyola crushing SIU in the Valley, Illinois State a Valley win over Indiana State. The news service of P3 portable protein packs, the more interesting way to get your protein. The morning mess is here, and you can tackle it with P3 portable protein packs. It's a more interesting way to get your protein with its combination of meat, cheese, and nuts. P3's high protein will help you make it through whatever you need to face during the day. Get your morning going with P3. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters.
the Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spiveries is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'd love to hear more. Do you have a card?
This is it. This is when you can either let something happen or make it happen with your professional custom card from Vistaprint. Right now, you can get 500 business cards personalized the way you want them, starting at just $9.99. You pick the look, the style, and the statement you want to make in the moment. Now is the time to make something happen for your business. So, own the now with 500 custom business cards starting at $9.99 at Vistaprint.com. Just use promo code 4400. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 4400.
Some job recruitment sites overload your inbox with resumes. Glassdoor knows not just any will do. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. In fact, Glassdoor hires are 30% more likely to stay with your company longer. And Glassdoor can help you find that perfect candidate in half the resumes. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
My name is David Hochberg of Team Hochberg, and I have exciting news. To provide listeners with more financing options and lower rates, Team Hochberg is now originating loans for Homeside Financial. Team Hochberg, Chicago-based loan officers, support staff, and in-house underwriters allows us to process and approve loans within days of receiving complete files from our borrowers. I'll be highlighting proprietary loan programs like doing a cash-out refinance up to 95% of the value of your home with a minimum credit score of 680 and construction to permanent loans on both FHA and VA loans. Team Hochberg's new toll-free number is 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-563-2843. Or visit our new website, 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-563-2843. Or visit our new website, 56david.com. Homeside Financial, Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 66761019, NMLS 1124061. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
7:08, a check on the roads in the AM 560 traffic center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
We have updated flight cancellation numbers at O'Hare. 432 flights have been canceled today. 195 flights have been canceled at Midway. Speeds are severely reduced throughout the area due to the conditions. The 8-inch from Lake Cook to Montrose is running about 50 minutes now. Kennedy, from O'Hare to downtown is an hour and a half. On Eisenhower, an hour and 32 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, an hour and a half, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The ride is 50 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, an hour and 20 minutes. I-80 to the Merge, Mission Ford, an hour and 25. It's very slow going on the tollways, I-80 and in northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory today. Snow tapering off the flurries, 1 to 2 inches. High today 35. Temperatures drop to the 20s. Cloudy, brisk, and cold tonight, low 0. Sun and patchy clouds tomorrow, the high 3. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
21 degrees at O'Hare. That winter weather advisory for the greater Chicagoland area stays in effect till 6 p.m. tonight. Winter storm warning in effect as you head toward the Wisconsin border until 6 tonight. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So could former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz be the Ross Perot of 2020? He was profiled on 60 Minutes last night. It was okay. I mean, it was only as good as Scott Pelley can do. It's a low bar.
He's going to be running as an independent if he decides to run.
Howard Schultz on his discuss with both parties.
At the Starbucks headquarters in Seattle, they don't drink coffee like you and me. That's Howard Schultz analyzing each slurp as though he's letting you in on a secret.
You taste that earthiness like a Bordeaux wine.
That is pretty good.
That's something.
Yeah. That is something. Here, people called coffee masters talk about finding romance and passion in a cup.
Yeah, that's sort of the NPR-style storytelling you got from Scott Pelley. Howard Schultz, though, interestingly, talking about sort of like what Mitch Daniels did when he was contemplating running for president in 2012, the Red Menace, the $21 trillion in debt. He didn't mention it, but he could have. Another $85 trillion in unfunded liabilities. And that he has been a lifelong Democrat, but he's not on board with where the Democrats are on, say, single-payer health care, Medicare for all, as it's called. So what Scott Pelley didn't ask him, and he should have, given the timeliness of it, what about what your potential competitor there, the good senator from Massachusetts, proposed last week, the wealth tax? Did you catch this?
The rich and powerful run Washington. They write the rules of our economy and our government to benefit themselves. And here's one benefit for the ultra-rich. After making a killing from the economy they've rigged, they don't pay taxes on that accumulated wealth. Just think about two people. Someone inherits $500 million worth of yachts and jewelry and fine arts, and a public school teacher with no savings in the bank. They both bring home $50,000, and they both pay the same amount in federal taxes, despite their vastly different circumstances. Now, that's a system that's rigged for the top. We need structural change. That's why I'm proposing something brand new, a tax on wealth. I'm calling it the Ultra Millionaires Tax, and it just applies to that tippy top 0.1%. Those with net worth above $50 million. It would make the ultra-rich pay their fair share.
Yeah.
She said she stole a line from Ocasio-Cortez.
Tippy top. And
just a tippy, just the tip.
And what a choice to make. That's the line you want to steal.
Wow.
Tippy top. She's
oh my gosh.
Trying to capture the zeitgeist of AOC. Well, we should talk to somebody in that tippy top to get his perspective on that. We're pleased to be joined again by Roger Kimball, editor of the New Criterion, columnist for PJ Media and AmericanGreatness.com as well. Roger, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, great to be with you. Sorry you're having so much snow and cold out there.
Yeah, we're used to it. So let me ask you about first Howard Schultz's potential independent candidacy. I mean, we go through this every 4 years. Michael Bloomberg 4 years ago. Now
Right.
we've got Howard Schultz. How serious should we take this prospect?
Well, I mean, as a kind of as the entertainment candidate, sure. I mean, he's a joke, in my opinion. A bad joke. I should qualify that. I mean, here's a man who instructed his employees to hector his customers about race relations. And I mean, he is I was going to say he's the identity politics candidate, but he has competition in that sweepstakes, a lot of competition.
Yeah.
I mean, the Democratic Party really needs to find for its own good, and I speak as a Republican, but one who believes that a vibrant two-party system is important for the health of the country. They need to recapture the Scoop Jackson Democrats. They need to find people who can proudly stand up and say, I'm an American patriot. I believe in a strong foreign policy and a sound fiscal policy. I mean, your quotations from Elizabeth Warren, it sounds like a graduate seminar in Marx. She's one of these people who seem to believe that economics is all about the redistribution of wealth, not the creation of wealth.
Yes.
And of course the hypocrisy is redolent in everything she says, because of course she is herself a conspicuous beneficiary of the system that she now wants to employ to deny others to succeed. It would be utterly disgusting if it were not also partly comical.
Yeah, well, also what could be comical, according to CNN White House correspondent Jeff Zeleny, formerly with ABC News, he said that Hillary Clinton is not ruling out a presidential rematch for 2020.
I hope she runs.
Yeah,
I hope she runs.
Yeah,
hope she runs
for sure.
No, this is the. I think I might see if I can invest in a political consultancy stock, because these guys are going to drop a lot of money, billions with a B and an S there, but so far there doesn't seem to be a plausible Democratic candidate.
The other thing that's interesting about Warren's proposed wealth tax, in addition to borrowing the dizzying lingo of Ocasio-Cortez, is that it turns out that would be violative of the 16th Amendment, but I suppose we don't have a Democrat Party that's particularly concerned with the Constitution anymore either.
No, that's the thing about the Constitution. It was written as a document to defend people against the incursions of the coercive side of the state. It was a document to preserve liberty, and after a few hundred years of left-wing hermeneutical ingenuity, it has in many cases been twisted to do the exact opposite. Actually, the 16th Amendment is one of my least favorite amendments. So I don't believe in the income tax, but that's another subject.
So the federal,
but no,
Well, just moving on, President Trump obviously announced that a 3-week stopgap spending bill that's going to end the longest government shutdown. People are back at work today. Do you think this is just a Band-Aid, and what do you think he's going to do in 3 weeks? Are we going to have the same movie played?
Well, no, it won't be. It will be part 2. So the special effects will be bigger and louder.
Yeah.
And you'll have a few new guest stars. I really hope that for the country's sake and for his political future, that this accommodation, this temporary accommodation, will turn out to be only that. In my view, he has to make good on this central campaign promise to be seen to have built a wall. He just has to, not for its symbolic value, but because he was elected in large part to do something about illegal immigration along our southern border, and this is absolutely critical for his standing with his base. And I think he will. I hope he will essentially use his executive powers to get the wall built, whether or not Congress appropriates the money. So now, I prefer that he not actually declare a state of national emergency and just use his powers as commander-in-chief and the rather vast pockets of money that are just floating around the federal bureaucracy to get it done. I don't know whether I don't believe that Nancy Pelosi is negotiating in good faith, but we'll see. The 3 weeks is not very far away, so we'll see what happens between now and then.
So the last week, it seems to me, both with demurring to Nancy Pelosi on the State of the Union address, as well as this reversal of position in providing for this 3-week interregnum, Trump has become very conventional. And he got to the place he's at by being unconventional. And this to me, both of them are opportunities that scream to me the need for unconventionality in terms of addressing these problems that have been loggerheads between the parties for generations. Obviously, the border security and the State of the Union, and using the bully pulpit that he used to make his capitulation announcement on Friday. I sense that he is in a very dangerous place, because if he becomes a conventional politician like the surrender Republicans that he beat in the 2016 primary, then he's over.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree. I don't know what the status quo is. Frankly, it's you don't know what's a feint, what's a bargaining chip. He is, as he likes to point out, an expert negotiator, and we'll see. We'll see quickly. One should remember that he's throughout this process, he's done a number of unconventional and gutsy things. Perhaps my favorite was his sudden letter to Nancy Pelosi when she was on the bus to the airport, telling her that she was not going to Afghanistan on military transport, but of course she was welcome to fly commercial if she so chose. That was a day brightener. But no other president would have done that, and that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant because it signaled that he was willing to play hardball. So that was a stick. Now perhaps we have a carrot. We'll see what happens. But I agree with you. If he becomes conventional all of a sudden, if he grows soft, they'll eat him alive.
He is Roger Kimball, editor of The New Criterion, columnist for PJ Media. You can also find his work routinely at amgreatness.com. Roger, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great to chat with you guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hey everyone, Carrie here. For years, you've heard my husband, Ken,
hello, Radioland,
explain how Income Store is the place for your next revenue stream. Not to date ourselves, but Ken and I have been helping individuals and businesses grow their revenue since before the internet was even a thing. We've heard countless stories as to why people look to increase their revenue.
Some stories make us laugh, some make us cry.
These stories, combined with our own, have motivated Ken and I to dedicate our lives to help people, as Ken says, who need a revenue shot in the backside.
Whether you want to just learn how or simply put, you need to generate revenue today. Our mission is to serve both.
Our worldwide staff of
more good news. You can still get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress topper and pet beds that you've heard me rave about. Just be sure to use the promo code AMY to get the MyPillow 4-pack offer with free shipping and that 30% discount off everything else, including those mattress toppers, pet beds, and I love their sheets and pillowcases. You got to check those out. So go to MyPillow.com, type in Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code for 30% off, or simply call 800-489-0201.
The quivers, the shivers, goosebumps. That's what our customers say before 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning repairs their furnace. Call us. We'll fix it right, stand by our work, and give you our straightforward pricing, which means no hourly charges. How's that for goosebumps? Right now, get big savings on any heating repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
You've spent a lot of time and energy getting everything perfect with the planning and construction of your new property, but something's still missing. The interior and exterior of the structure turned out as planned, but there's still something you may not have even thought of until now. And it makes a big difference. The landscape. That's where AM Woodland Design makes the outdoors come alive to put that final detail on your build. Whether you're a commercial developer or custom home builder, AM Woodland Outdoor Design will put the finishing touches on your properties to make a complete and flawless presentation that will impress. As always, the expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process and provide quality service with integrity and reliability every time.
A.M. Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com, that's amwoodland.com, or call 847-224-2167.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. And I'm also the host of the IRS Radio Hour.
And I'm Jim Leahy, the co-host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here every Sunday evening at 5 on AM 560.
The Answer. I know you want a local attorney you can look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So today we have a special offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep? Are you trying to give away a pillow?
Great guess, Jim. But no, I want to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night. If you fear the IRS will take away your money, freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, visit your home or job, and now they can take away your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good.
Call attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man, at 312-664-6649, 312-664-6649, and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
It's Dr. David Kolbaba. It's our winter survival kit for this cold and flu season. It's power-packed with natural ingredients, and unlike the flu shot, it's safe and effective. First, it's our Sunny C 1000. It's highly absorbable, and it does not suppress your body's natural killer cells like most other vitamin C supplements do. And when you purchase your first bottle of our Sunny C 1000, I promise.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so a case of road rage turned into hood surfing on a Massachusetts turnpike.
Did you see that video? It's awful.
65-year-old Richard Kamrowski.
So he's your age?
Yeah, just a little younger. And 37-year-old Mark Fitzgerald. Mark Fitzgerald is in the Infiniti SUV. Richard Kamrowski is on the Infiniti SUV.
The 65-year-old Framingham man says he was just on his way home from work when the incident happened. He was not hurt, but tonight he says his fingertips are still sore from hanging on.
Hello.
I thought he was going to run over me. 65-year-old Richard Kamrowski says he was in survival mode as he hung on to the front of this white SUV as it flew down the Mass Pike.
I just kept telling him, stop the car, and he wouldn't stop.
Kamrowski says the driver yelled back at him to get off. He called 911 while on the car as it sped west around 4:40 this afternoon.
Where are you right now?
I don't think he stopped. He kept going fast, slow, try to get me to slide off.
State police say 37-year-old Mark Fitzgerald of Lynn was behind the wheel. He wouldn't answer any questions and hid his face while leaving the state police barracks tonight. Kamrowski says it all started after Fitzgerald swerved into his lane and bumped his car. He tried to get Fitzgerald to stop, but says he kept trying to take off. That's when he ended up on the hood after getting bumped by the SUV.
You'll never guess where I'm calling from. Hey,
how was he able to still hang on and call 911?
Well, you got two hands.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if time's going 65 miles per hour and the guy's 65 years old, ouch, that'll leave a mark.
The more interesting question is, so he swerves into your lane, bumps your car. You're trying to catch up with him to have him pull over and get information for the fender bender. How did you wind up on his hood?
That's the thing I don't know. He was going. He was.
Did he was it like a mission?
He got out of his car.
Well, it's like, or maybe it was a Mission Impossible. He got, he's somehow rigged the wheel to continue driving straight, and he jumped out the window onto the hood or something like that. I don't know, but that part of the story was left out. That seems to me the most entertaining part.
Yeah, that's great. You have to watch the video too. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
It's a little cautionary tale to all you Pacers in the left lane, too, let me tell you.
Yeah, get out.
President Trump, is his capitulation on border security funding the beginning of the end of his presidency, or at least the beginning of a primary challenge that could end his presidency? We'll take your calls at 7:37.
But first, let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Still some heavy snow showers in the area. Some heavy snowfall numbers as well, too. This morning in McHenry, they're totaling up 6 inches of snow. And that snowfall is causing problems on the Chicago area roadways. 500 flights or more canceled at O'Hare and Midway. Hundreds of schools and agencies closed or delayed in the Chicago area. A full list of closures for you can be found at emergencyclosingcenter.com. In other news we're following this morning, the Taliban says the U.S. is agreeing on a draft peace plan that could see all foreign troops out of Afghanistan in the next 18 months. The partial government shutdown is over for now. Federal workers are heading back to work today. Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney says all employees should receive back pay missed by the end of the week.
There's a couple different payroll providers in the federal government, and how an employee gets paid or which payroll provider covers their agency will dictate how long it takes.
Meantime, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia says there can be a way to now negotiate an immigration deal between the Trump administration and Congress.
You can find a balance if you bring an outside special group in, unbiased.
Teachers in several cities today could be walking out of classrooms or getting set to in Virginia, Oakland, California, and Denver. A suspect in a Louisiana killing spree is under arrest. 21-year-old Dakota Terrio was arrested yesterday morning in his grandmother's driveway in Richmond, Virginia. He's accused of shooting his parents and 3 others. A man and his dog recovering after both falling into Lake Michigan on Chicago's north side. The man tumbled into the lake trying to save his dog. Chicago Fire tells us the man was able to get the canine out of the water before police officers helped the man out of the freezing lake. Parishioners are trying to save Sunday morning Mass at the second oldest Catholic church in Chicago. Hundreds signed a petition yesterday asking Cardinal Blaise Cupich to help keep Mass open at Holy Family Church on the near west side. The White Sox said over the weekend they have a strong pitch in for Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, but don't expect a very early Christmas because they're not going to sign both star sluggers, according to GM Rick Hahn, who doused that idea Saturday. Black Panther, the big winner at this year's Screen Actors Guild Awards. That's stirring a lot of Oscar buzz this morning. Bulls fell to the Cavaliers 104-101. Patrick Kane, a nice NHL All-Star weekend in San Jose. Now the Hawks have several days off. College hoops, DePaul lost to Providence. Loyola crushed SIU in the Valley, and Illinois State. The Redbirds of Valley win over the Sycamores of Indiana State. The news service of Discover. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
If you maintain an industrial plant, you know your dust collection systems are a vital part of the operation of your plant. Without them, things can get dusty quick. And when your dust collection system malfunctions, the downtime can cost your plant money. Time to call the professionals at Vans Industrial for help.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. At Vans, we work with many different types and sizes of dust collectors, from 1,000 CFM to 100,000 CFM. If your system needs housing repair, tube sheet, pulse valves, ductwork, or collection hoods, give us a call. Schedule an inspection today to keep things running smoothly and avoid costly downtime. And when you're ready for a new dust collector, we can design your system from the collection hoods to the stack for plants of all size applications.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
It's Dr. David Kolbaba. It's our winter survival kit for this cold and flu season. It's power-packed with natural ingredients, and unlike the flu shot, it's safe and effective. First, it's our Sunny C 1000. It's highly absorbable, and it does not suppress your body's natural killer cells like most other vitamin C supplements do. And when you purchase your first bottle of our Sunny C 1000, I promise to include scientific data to back it up. And I'll also include a vitamin C dosage chart for you to customize how much is best for you, whether you're fighting off a cold or flu or you want a preventative dose to keep you from getting a cold or flu. Sunny C 1000. It's easy on the stomach, and it's essential role in fighting illness. And when you order your Sunny C 1000 today, be sure to get more information on the rest of our winter survival kit. Call 800-794-1855. It's our Health Quest Radio hotline. And be sure to listen to Health Quest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11. But for now, that number again, 800-794-1855.
If you're a realtor or managing broker purchasing online leads, please listen to this important message. Team Hochberg and the Miller Mortgage Group at Homeside Financial have developed a proprietary lead conversion system called LCS, which helped Kevin Glover of RE/MAX Professionals quadruple his online lead conversion. Team Hochberg and the Miller Mortgage Group would like to invite realtors and managing brokers to a complimentary lunch at White Eagle Country Club in Naperville on Thursday, January 31st to hear Kevin explain how LCS helped him increase his sales from $980,000 to $9.8 million last year. To register for the complimentary lead conversion system luncheon, go to 56david.com and click on the events tab. The LCS is complimentary for all our realtor partners. Seating is limited, so please go to 56david.com and click on the events tab to register to learn how to convert more online leads and sell more homes.
Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 66761019, NMLS 1124061.
7:36, a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Train service is stopped on the Milwaukee West line in both directions after a train struck a vehicle near Galewood. Some of the other Metro lines have delays as well, for hundreds of flight cancellations. Edens with the snow is running 50 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, an hour and 30 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Eisenhower, an hour and 32 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, an hour and 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour 10 from the Tri-State. Bryant from 95th to downtown is 50 minutes. I-57, an hour 20. I-80 Merge, Bishop Ford, an hour 25. It's slow going on Lakeshore Drive, really heavy on the area tollways. The snow is slowing the commute in northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, snow tapers to flurries. 1 to 2 inches or more in the greater Chicagoland area. 3 to 6 inches of snowfall wrapping up near the Wisconsin border. Less than that south of I-80. We'll top out at 35 this morning, and then temps begin to tumble towards 0 overnight. Tomorrow, sunshine, breezy, much colder, a high only of 3. Currently, it is 24 degrees at O'Hare. 25 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Dan and Amy, so the question, did Trump make the right call on Friday agreeing to a 3-week reopening of the small portion of the federal government that was shut down in order to get a border security funding deal? This was President Trump putting a positive spin on it on Friday.
I am very proud to announce today that we have reached a deal to end the shutdown and reopen the federal government.
And the opportunity that his agreement to this 3-year grace period provides.
They will put together a Homeland Security package for me to shortly sign into law. Over the next 21 days, I expect that both Democrats and Republicans will operate in good faith. This is an opportunity for all parties to work together for the benefit of our whole beautiful, wonderful nation.
But just
sounds like everything's coming up roses.
Yeah, but then just a couple of days later, an interview with the Wall Street Journal, President Trump sounded a little less sanguine. I personally think it's less than 50-50, but you have a lot of very good people on that board of 17 lawmakers trying to craft a deal. So struck an optimistic note on Friday and offered a more realistic assessment just 2 days later. And remember, Trump has said things that he's now walked back.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way to describe it. This is President Trump in his own words. Let's just be honest about what he said and what he's done and the difference between the two. President Trump on December 11th, in that very public spat with Pelosi and Schumer on the prospect of a shutdown.
One thing I think we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute. And you want to shut it down. You keep talking about it.
The last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened it up very quickly. And
20 times.
I don't want to do what you did.
20 times you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wool. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said
it. Okay, you want to put that on my...
You've said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
That's pretty unequivocal.
But then he reneged. I mean, I think he's got an L on his forehead this morning. I think that the Democrats won this battle. I think it's made their party stronger. And Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi were pretty much laughing at him Friday afternoon.
Hopefully now the president has learned his lesson. Now, once the president signs the continuing resolution, we in Congress will roll up our sleeves and try to find some agreement on border security. We don't agree on some of the specifics of border security. Democrats are firmly against the wall.
So you're against a physical barrier on the border, which is the whole impasse. So nothing has changed other than Trump arguing with himself, negotiate against himself, offers a compromise last weekend, comprehensive in nature, and then capitulates on reopening that small portion of the government that was temporarily shut down this weekend. So explain to me the judiciousness of that approach, negotiating with yourself. Ever a good idea? Trump, the first week of January, remember, in response to a question from Major Garrett about how far he was willing to go on this matter.
He also said, you said in the meeting, this is him quoting you, I just want to check, that the shutdown could go on for months or even a year or longer. Did you say that? And
I did.
Is that your assessment of where we are?
That. Absolutely, I said that. I don't think it will, but I am prepared, and I think I can speak for Republicans in the House and Republicans in the Senate. They feel very strongly about having a safe country, having a border that makes sense. Without borders, I've said it many times, we don't have a country.
Okay, so you heard what he said about 6 weeks ago, and then you heard what he said about 4 weeks ago. And then you've seen what he's done, both in terms of acquiescing to Pelosi on the State of the Union address, and now on this reopening of the government in order to, facilitate a deal? So you deleverage your way to a deal? Does that make sense to you? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
I think his back was to the wall on Friday when there was a ground stoppage at major airports along the East Coast because air traffic controllers called in sick. I mean, I think that was the final straw. Because you mess with air travel and then
tough. Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. But it was your flight that's been canceled and you don't know when it's going to...
Oh, God, the world's going to come to an end. Just like federal employees missing a paycheck, the world's going to come to an end. This is an impasse. You said, I will take the mantle. You said it's a humanitarian crisis. And by the way, it is. And it's picking up in steam. Reports out this weekend. Migrant caravan, another one from Ciudad Hidalgo, bordering Guatemala.
Oh, yeah.
They number 12,000 at Mexico's southern border. Another story.
Well, then he should declare a national emergency.
No, he shouldn't. Another story this weekend that should be told and amplified by Republicans. Tell stories. Human impact. An illegal immigrant from Honduras arrested twice for illegally entering the United States behind bars for impregnating a 14-year-old California girl he met online. There's statistics and then there's stories. This is why border security is important. President Trump can easily use the bully pulpit and all of those media outlets that he loves to entertain to say, I'm in the business of protecting Americans and protecting those who want to be Americans. And that's why this is so important. And I'm not moving. That's what he could have done. Washington Post opining last week, Democrats make a deal with Trump because those DACA designees, a 3-year extension on their legal status is a good deal, is an important move, even if you don't like Trump.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. So now this is the way, with, as you said, Schumer and Pelosi feeling their oats, that you're going to get, half a loaf, a quarter of a loaf in some sort of grand bargain. Is this any different than the surrender Republican primary voters rejected? I'm talking about the senators in particular, who wanted, an amnesty first and we'll worry about security later. Or first and then maybe, the whole two-step that is done inside the Beltway all the time. You never get the security, you just get the capitulation. Is this any different than the surrender that you rejected by supporting President Trump as your Republican Party nominee? 312-642-5600.
Well, Ann Coulter called him a wimp yesterday, but I don't think it's that bad. But I do not think the Democrats are going to give him a dime to build that wall. And I think he has to declare a national emergency. There's no other way that he could build his wall.
Well,
and yeah, that might be fought in courts and everything, but at least he's doing what he promised to his constituents.
There potentially are other ways, but the point is he's now not seen as going to the mat.
Oh, yeah.
So, and whatever he does, whether it's within his purview as the chief executive or not, will be litigated by Democrats. And so they'll run to some leftist federal district court judge and get whatever he would do unilaterally enjoined. And so you're back in the same place. He's the master negotiator. He's the deal maker, art of the deal guy. How do you grade the artistry of the deal here so far?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Corey in Woodlawn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, so my comment is this. I think Trump, he went straight from being a citizen into being the president of the United States. He's trying to figure this thing out. I think we, as conservatives, need to get behind him. I would really like him to talk more to the Freedom Caucus so they can tell him the ins and outs. But he should not allow another branch of the federal government to get him to violate his order in the Constitution. He is charged with the duty of protecting this country, and he must do that at all costs. We won't have another shot at this because I don't think another conservative is going to allow themselves to be ridiculed by the media like he is.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Corey. In terms of conservatives need to get behind him, aren't conservatives behind him with respect to putting in the fight for border security funding? Isn't that how he, in part, won conservatives in the primary? And the reason conservatives have stuck with him, and in addition to a couple other things like judicial appointments, deregulation, but isn't this an important piece of it? I don't understand the position, the strategic position of this move. I don't get it. So if somebody wants to enlighten me, I'm all ears. Ralph in Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning, Dan and Amy. No, I think Trump has lost face on this one a little bit. He can recover, I think. We'll see. The Republicans definitely don't have his back, or Paul Ryan and the other non-conservative Republicans would have done something about wall funding while they had a majority in the House, the Senate, and a Republican sitting in the White House. I think a smart general will save his troops, will retreat in order to win later, because not to take too many casualties. We'll see if he's a smart guy or not, but he definitely lost face. If you cannot count on honest dealings with Pelosi or the Democrats, so whatever they say, you just have to take on the face as a lie and a ruse. So he's either got to be more clever, build up his support, because conservatives still support him. Unfortunately, there aren't very many conservatives in the Republican Party.
Well, thanks for the call, Ralph. Those Senate votes last week, yeah, you had some defectors, but
it was 6 of them.
But you also had Joe Manchin vote for both bills. Yeah. In terms of that as sort of some sort of straw poll for where the party's at. There's a lot of Republicans that don't want to draw the ire of their constituents by folding in with the open borders Democrats, the abolish ICE Democrats. Where is that distinction being gone? Why isn't that part of President Trump's offering to the public. Remind them the choices here. Frame the differences between the two parties, between what he wants to do at the border and including for those constituents that Democrats have championed as mascots only, as in comparison to what the Democrats are doing. I mean, you have to constantly persuade people, right? He offered a comprehensive compromise a weekend ago, and he wouldn't let it marinate for more than a week after saying he was willing to go months, year. I'll take it. I'll wear the mantle. Hard to square the circle on those comments, isn't it? Todd in Lake Geneva. Hi, Todd. Todd in Lake Geneva.
Hello.
Yep, you're on.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I love you guys. Love your show most of the time.
Okay.
But I'm really getting tired of the conservative media slanting to the left.
Yeah.
How many deals did Trump make an offer on? I mean, he made a big offer, and then he kept offering the Democrats to come back to the White House, and they never did.
Right.
So he's a brilliant negotiator by giving in to them because it puts a ball in their court now. And if they don't come to the table in 3 weeks, which is a blink of an eye, there's going to be hell to pay.
Okay. Okay, thanks for the call, Todd. I mean, that's, I guess, one supposition. They didn't come to the table. They rejected out of hand before he finished making his offer, the offer last weekend. That's how strong the Democrats think their position is. Frankly, that's how radical their ideology is. But in 3 weeks, they're going to cut a deal that even Trump says is 50-50 at best. Okay. Laura in Lakeview.
Yeah, I think Trump knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's pulling a Netanyahu, where Netanyahu would always give concessions to the Palestinians, and then they move the goalpost, and then they show their true colors. I think that's exactly what he's doing with the Democrats. He's making concessions, and now he's going to have the bully pulpit with the State of the Union, because he's going to get that, and he's going to show the world exactly where Pelosi and the Democrats stand and the hypocrites that they are.
Okay, well, thanks for the call, Laura, but when's the State of the Union going to happen? Because the State of the Union is not going to happen until the government's reopened.
Completely.
So he said.
Right. But even with a stopgap measure, couldn't he? I mean, I guess it's...
He could.
Too quick to...
I don't know.
Arrange something for tomorrow night?
Well, tomorrow night, no. But
next week,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that'll be his next move. Maybe he'll say, okay, the government's reopened, Pelosi, so let me have access to the House chamber. I want to make my State of the Union. He better.
He should do that.
Should do something.
He's like letting them walk all over him. That's what I don't understand what's going on. Where's the real President Trump?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the argument that's being made, which is, he's drawing them in for the ambush. I don't think that's what's actually happening. I think that's a bit of wishful thinking. And we're going to see that play out in the very near term. Mark in Ashburn.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Well, one thing that was being reported last week, not by many, but it is something that happened, is Vice President Pence met with Senate Republicans, and they screamed at him. They trashed him for the president to reopen the government. Shortly after that, the president capitulates to Chuck and Nancy. He has no one in his party standing up for him, particularly the senators. Then you get squishes like Collins and Rubio going out on national programs yesterday saying that they will fight the National Emergency Act if he decides to invoke his privilege and invoke a national emergency. He's got no one. He's getting smoked, and he's getting trolled and destroyed. New York real estate is nothing compared to D.C. I'm sorry. I think Trump's in over his head. And this is read my lips. It's read my lips all over again. And it's really sad because I think the man's intentions were correct, but he's getting destroyed by this scum in D.C. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once.
over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Got a great night's sleep last night, all thanks to MyPillow. Oh, yeah, and you still have the MyPillow 4-pack you can get for the price of one premium MyPillow plus free shipping. As you've been hearing me tell you for years, they're the best pillows money can buy. And the bottom line is you'll sleep better, you will feel better. MyPillow is washable, dryable, has a money-back offer if you're not satisfied. And here's more good news. You can still get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress toppers and pet beds and those sheets and pillowcases. So be sure to use the promo code Amy when you go to MyPillow.com. And voila, 30% off your entire order. Or call 800-489-0201.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think, too. Until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-600-9519. That's 1-800-600-9519. 1-800-600-9519.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
I spoke to one person and, I asked him a simple question is, what do you want to do with your retirement? And he said, I want to protect it. Because if it does go down and not come back, do you have enough time in the market to recover those losses?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
What if being in recovery from a mental or substance use disorder was something we proudly showed the world? Millions of people are in recovery, sharing hope and support with family, friends, and community. Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
They're showing up at work again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Hundreds of thousands of furloughed federal employees back on the job with back pay expected this week. However, they could end up back home when short-term funding runs out February 15th and there's no deal.
We concluded that spending billions on a medieval border wall that would be ineffective would be a waste
of taxpayer dollars.
Hakeem Jeffries on NBC's Meet the Press. He chairs the House Democratic Caucus. There will be bipartisan negotiations. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump told the Wall Street Journal that he doubts Congress will deliver a border deal that he can accept, putting the odds of a deal at less than 50-50. Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney appeared on CBS's Face the Nation.
This is just the next step. This is just in the negotiation. We thought it was the exact right thing for the president to do at the time, and I think ultimately he'll be judged by the end of by what happens at the end of this process, not by what happened this week.
Mulvaney said the president is prepared to shut the government down again if he doesn't get the $5.7 billion he's seeking for a southern border wall. Dave?
Well, John, President Trump may face a challenge from the middle in 2020. Former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz told CBS he may run as a
centrist independent outside of the two-party system.
Now, the president just tweeted Howard Schultz doesn't have the guts to run, adding, watched him on 60 Minutes, and I agree with him. He's not the smartest person. The New York Times reports the U.S. has worked out the framework of a peace deal with the Taliban, the group we've been fighting for years in Afghanistan. It's a snowy day in the upper Midwest. Some areas of Minnesota, Wisconsin could get a foot. More than 900 flights are canceled, most of them to and from Chicago. Then comes a deep freeze that'll also bring snow to the south.
We're going to be talking about air temperatures minus 30, minus 40. Air temperatures, that's without the wind chill across the northern plains in the upper Midwest. That's where the worst of it is going to be.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean in Langdon, North Dakota, the wind chill forecast is to be 62 below Tuesday night. This is Fox News.
Snow showers and 24 degrees. We actually have a bit of mixed precipitation falling in Aurora right now, where temperatures are a bit warmer at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The National Weather Service telling us about 3 to 3.5 inches of snow has fallen at O'Hare, 6 inches of snow officially near the Wisconsin border. 500 flights have been canceled at O'Hare, more at Midway, and that winter storm warning remains in effect for Lake and McHenry counties, while an advisory stands for Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. Hundreds of schools and agencies are closed. You can find a list of closures that may impact you at emergencyclosingcenter.com. Emergencyclosingcenter.com. Well, the next emergency to brace for is the record-breaking cold. Dr. Jeff Shader is with the Cook County Department of Emergency Medicine and says Wednesday's exposure to low temperatures could be dangerous.
I've seen people get frostbite within 10 minutes of being outside on their ears, just walking, from one place to the next.
Wind chills could dip as low as negative 55. Bail is set this morning at over $1 million for a Chicago man wanted in a deadly Texas shooting last summer. Ahmaud Williams appeared in court yesterday after being arrested Friday on the west side. A Will County woman is urging snowmobilers to be extra careful when they ride near horse farms because one of her horses was spooked by the machines and fatally injured trying to jump a gate. Victoria Vogel of Vogel Equine Retirement Farm in Frankfort says there are many farms like hers near her. She worries that other animals will be scared and react as the 20-year-old quarter horse did on January 20th when snowmobiles sped past the corral. Cavs over the Bulls, 104-101. College hoops, DePaul lost to Providence. Loyola crushed SIU. And in the Valley, Illinois State a win over Indiana State. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, heavy machinery company Caterpillar is reporting a disappointing quarter, though it's predicting business will improve this year. About a quarter of Caterpillar's business is in Asia. Nissan is being investigated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC wants to know whether the Japanese car maker properly disclosed pay information about its former chairman, Carlos Ghosn, who is now facing financial misconduct charges in Japan. Last week, Ghosn resigned from French automaker Renault. Now the French government is monitoring how his exit package is handled, saying it shouldn't be exorbitant. The French state owns 15% of Renault. Sonic Drive-In has joined the fast food special treat trend. Sonic has added Oreo a la mode and Cinnabon Cinnasticks a la mode to its all-day menu. The treats are $2.99. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dan Proft here.
And I'm Amy Jacobson, and we wanted to take a minute to say thanks. Thank you to each and every one of you who participated in our annual Food for the Poor campaign.
Because of you, we were able to raise more than $175,000 to provide food for a year and clean water for life for more than 2,200 children and their families in Haiti.
And we're especially grateful to the many business benefactors who supported this campaign. When you hear their ads on this station, we'd ask that you support their business as a way of thanking them for their generosity. And just because the Christmas season is over,
and we're starting a new year, that doesn't mean the need goes away. You can still make a $50 donation to Food for the Poor.
Just call 844-862-4673. That's 844-862-4673.
Or visit 560theanswer.com/food. That's 560theanswer.com/food. And thanks again for your generosity.
I'd love to hear more. Do you have a card?
This is it. This is when you can either let something happen or make it happen with your professional custom card from Vistaprint. Right now, you can get 500 business cards personalized the way you want them, starting at just $9.99. You pick the look, the style, and the statement you want to make in the moment. Now is the time to make something happen for your business. So, own the now with 500 custom business cards starting at $9.99 at Vistaprint.com. Just use promo code 4400. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 4400.
36 days. That's how long it takes the average company to find their next hire. Glassdoor can help you quickly find the right job candidate in half the resumes. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. And Glassdoor hires are committed. They're 30% more likely to stay with your business longer. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
If you think all banks are the same, it's time to think about Signature Bank Chicago. I'm Pete Olson, head of commercial banking at Signature Bank, where the people who own the bank operate the bank. Not in an abstract way, but in the same hands-on, personalized way that you run your business. We don't rely on a legion of business developers to find new relationships. We don't trust an outsourced phone bank to address your customer service needs, and we don't delegate decision-making to some anonymous credit committee that you'll never meet. We do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you don't succeed, we don't succeed. Call us today to see the Signature Bank difference.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's 8:08 and a check of your morning roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Nearly 500 flights have been canceled at O'Hare today, nearly 200 at Midway. For heavy delays on Metra's Milwaukee West line after an incident involving a vehicle near Galewood. Also, there are delays on the Rock Island line. Eden's 55 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Kennedy, an hour and 40 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. This quicker, the express lanes by about 15 minutes. The Eisenhower, an hour and 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. An hour 13 from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 50 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, an hour 20. I-80 to Merge. Bishop Ford, an hour 25. It's very slow going on all the tollways. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory today. Clouds, breezy, snow tapering off to flurries, 1 to 2 inches. High 35. Temperatures drop to the 20s. Cloudy, brisk, very cold tonight, low 0. Breezy and cold tomorrow. Sun and patchy clouds, high 3. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Snow and 24 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I highly recommend this piece from Andrew Sullivan in New York Magazine over the weekend. The Abyss of Hate versus Hate. Now, you have to get through some of the perfunctory Trump hate from Andrew Sullivan that punctuates even the very good pieces that he writes. But focus here, because it's on Covington. And from Andrew Sullivan's perspective, it's a rather remarkable piece. Andrew Sullivan being, left. He writes, "What was so depressing to me about the Covington incident was how so many liberals felt comfortable taking a random teenager and purely because of his race and gender projected onto him all their resentment and hatred of white men in general. And this is what will inevitably happen once you've redefined racism or sexism to mean prejudice plus power. It's reasonable to note the social context of bigotry and see shades of gray in which the powerful should indeed be more aware of how their racial or gender prejudice can hurt others and the powerless given some slack. But if that leads you to ignore or downplay the nastiest adult bigotry imaginable, and to focus on a teen boy's silent face as the real manifestation of evil, you are well on your way to creating a new racism that mirrors aspects of the old. This is the abyss of hate versus hate, tribe versus tribe. This is a moment when we can look at ourselves in the mirror of social media and see what we've become." He points out that tyranny is not just political, but psychological. It infects the soul of the entire body politic. It destroys good people. It slowly strangles liberal democracy. This is the ongoing extinction-level event. John Covington. And Bill Maher, over the weekend, Politically Incorrect, provided a good example of exactly the hate, the new racial order the left is attempting to institute psychologically and culturally.
I don't blame the kid, the smirking kid. I blame lead poisoning. And bad parenting. And oh yeah, I blame that fucking kid. What a little smirk face. Smirk face says, please. Like, that's not a move at any age to stick your face in this elderly man's. And this smirking kid says he was just trying to diffuse the situation by, really? You know what? Next time you get into a fight with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, try that. Try getting 2 inches from their face with a shit-eating grin and see if it diffuses the situation. Yes. If you ask me, this kid should have done what everyone does during a drum solo. Leave. But, really, I mean, I don't spend a lot of time, I must tell you, around Catholic school children. But I do not get what Catholic priests see in these kids.
I mean, he's picking. Does he know he's picking on a child, like teenage boy? Does he even know the whole situation? I wonder if you watched any of the video.
Hilarious, applause-worthy. It's happening at the granular level too. Man escorted out of Colorado school board meeting Thursday for naming a teacher who called the wrong Covington Catholic boy, as if the wrong versus right, but the wrong Covington Catholic boy, meaning not Nick Sandmann, part of the, quote, Hitler Youth, unquote. And she subsequently deleted her Twitter account. This parent at this Douglas County school board meeting in Colorado, a little concerned about what was going on in the classroom when you have teachers characterizing people on social media, characterizing kids on social media as members of the Hitler Youth. C.S. Lewis sort of tackles this topic in Mere Christianity. He offers this. Suppose one reads a story of filthy atrocities in the paper. Then suppose that something turns up suggesting that the story might not quite be true, or not quite so bad as it was made out. Is one's first feeling, thank God even they aren't quite so bad as that? Or is it a feeling of disappointment, and even a determination to cling to the first story for the sheer pleasure of thinking your enemies as bad as possible? If it is the second, then it is, I'm afraid, the first step in a process which, if followed to the end, will make us into devils. You see, one is beginning to wish that black was a little blacker. If we give that wish its head, later on we shall wish to see gray as black, and then to see white itself as black. Finally, we shall insist on seeing everything, God, our friends, ourselves included, as bad and not be able to stop doing it. We shall be fixed forever in a universe of pure hatred. Tell me C.S. Lewis's words don't ring true in our culture today. Exhibit 1, Bill Maher. Exhibit 2, those still clinging to the first story on Covington. For more on this topic and others, we're pleased to be joined by John Fund, who's a columnist for National Review, nationalreview.com. John, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
A pleasure. That's heavy reading.
Yeah,
wow.
Well, it's a heavy topic, what's happening in our culture and the response, including, and we had your editor-in-chief there, Rich Lowry, on the show last week, Monday, right after this happened, and he discussed his mea culpa and National Review getting out in front of this before everything was fully contextualized. And, I mean, if there's something more important than this as it pertains to culture, then I'm not sure what it is.
Well, I'll tell you a latest example, which disturbs me, because I'm writing a book right now on citizenship and how we're devaluing it, not paying attention to it, not teaching civics in school. Tom Brokaw, the former anchor of NBC Nightly News, was on Meet the Press yesterday, and he said, well, you know, we really do have to diffuse tensions in this country, and everybody has to do their part. We have to have greater sensitivity to minorities. The Hispanic community has to assimilate more, not follow groups that want them to stay together and isolated from the rest of society. They have to learn English. I mean, it was very anodyne stuff. And the left wing, led by Joaquin Castro, the former Obama housing secretary, and various pressure groups, got to him, said he was being insensitive, said he was being prejudicial, and he immediately caved and started apologizing everywhere, saying he felt terrible about this. And it just goes to show you can't have any commentary on certain issues in this country without the PC police forcing you to recant and going down to the town square, and to avoid ritual burning at the stake, you have to recant.
Well, what does it say about our society when you have people in positions of power that are ripping on teenagers and minors, essentially?
Well, what I'm saying is no one is safe. The Covington teenager, Tom Brokaw, no one can act as you normally would in a free society and communicate and talk and engage in politics without the danger that social media, the left-wing media, and everybody else is going to leap on you and crush you and literally turn you into the worst cartoon villain you can imagine and ruin your life. Now, we all live with this in the media. I mean, we're all one swear word away from, destroying our jobs. We have to act responsibly. We certainly don't want to say anything that's horrible or prejudicial to anyone. But fair commentary, simply standing there while somebody is banging a drum in front of you, is depicted as, violence against minorities, disrespect. Saying that an ethnic group that comes to this country, a country of immigration, but it should assimilate. It's what every group in this country ever did. It's just appalling that we no longer have a First Amendment. We have a first right of people to crush anyone they disagree with.
Well, and the interesting thing, too, is you've had some people try to provide some context, even center-left, like Sullivan, David Brooks, who I know is supposedly a Republican. I would put him on the center-left. But in the same token, or in the same breath, by the same token, they also do this sort of, the pressures of this social media in the 21st century, the pressure reporters are under because of the fast-paced nature of Twitter and everything online. Like the sort of value-neutral communication channels are in part to blame for what they've disclosed as to who we are in the 21st century.
Well, it is pretty ugly because it's open season on people you disagree with now. And we have two power dynamics. Supposedly anyone who used to exercise inordinate power in this country, whites, males, business people. It's fair game. So prejudice is very selective. Those who were previously prejudiced, that we have a dark history with, now apparently are being given sanction along with their liberal allies to attack anyone they don't like and to be protected themselves from any kind of criticism or any kind of commentary. It's a role reversal that is really bizarre, and I understand the ideological motivation for it. What I don't understand is how cowardly so many of us have become in accepting, how people can be literally in a Lord of the Flies situation, torn apart limb from limb, metaphorically, simply from disagreeing with the conventional wisdom, the status quo, the prevailing liberal ethos.
Wanted to get your take on why you think President Trump caved on border wall funding and ended the shutdown.
Well, sadly, there's a new book out by a former Trump aide called Vipers in the White House. This guy, Cliff Sims. I'm not necessarily going to say everything in it is true, but I have to tell you, the president, who likes to portray himself as a great deal maker and an expert businessman, operates, the book is called Team of Vipers, operates a completely chaotic White House. He had the shutdown, I think, without a clearly thought plan. He didn't game theory it out. He didn't have his chess moves planned in advance. And I think that the president has got to go back to square one, and I think he's got to find some advisors who are more competent than some of the ones he has. It would be nice if, for example, he realized that, having family members like Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump in the White House is not a good idea because you can't fire your family. And I think he has to go back to square one. He's 2 years into his administration now, and he should realize he's accomplished a lot. But the chaos in the White House has not gotten better. It's gotten worse, and he's got to address it because otherwise he's going to have fiascos like this over and over again.
That book you mentioned also really gets after Kellyanne Conway as sort of being fork-tongued, to say the least, suggesting that she's one of the worst leakers in the White House and leaks things that shouldn't be put out into the ether. The president doesn't want out into the public, but also is very critical of the president when she's talking to members of the D.C. press corps.
Well, I think it's a little hard to say someone is one of the worst leakers in the White House. Everyone in the White House leaks.
Okay.
Yeah. Every reporter knows that. To try to single someone out is just ridiculous. But the president has to accept the fact he hires some really strange people. Omarosa, Roger Stone, Paul Manafort. Chris Christie has a book out this week saying, why does the president keep hiring riffraff? He can hire the best.
Yeah.
So there's something in the president's management style that is a real problem. You don't hire characters like this by accident. It seems to happen so often. There has to be a pattern here.
That is a fair point. He is John Fund, columnist for National Review. John, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Another year and you still haven't done anything about your company's networking computer system. Will your employees struggle to get by on a dated system with no IT personnel to fix it quickly? Or maybe you're thinking everything's running perfectly and it'll be fine. Until it isn't. Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. And it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Make 2019 the year you're prepared for anything technology throws at you with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT helps set you up for success and gets in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. They specialize in the preventative steps to keep you going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know exactly where you stand in the ever-evolving technology world. A second opinion never hurts. And for a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company, courtesy of Turnkey.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros, so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can.
Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye with an absolutely free consultation. Text START to 350350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use advanced FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK for as low as $220 per eye. Text START to 350350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's START to 350350.
Nothing speaks louder about an auto dealer than a happy customer. And at Joe Cotton Ford, they have many.
Typically, the car buying process, I think a lot of people would agree that it's not a pleasant experience. You look forward to buying a car, but the actual having to negotiate and purchase a car can sometimes be an ugly thing. And the one thing that I've always had here in 19 years, every time we purchased a car, it's been a pleasant experience.
Another reason why folks keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Joe Cotton Ford has the new 2018 Ford EcoSport, the small SUV that's big on standard features for only $18,995, 26 to choose from, with 0% financing for 60 months. The EcoSport SE features heated front bucket seats, a power moonroof with sunshade, rear view camera and reverse sensing system, plus intelligent access with push-button start. Get to Joe Cotton Ford today and save big on EcoSport, Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, let me get your take on this. Passenger on a Delta flight from Orlando to Detroit last week.
Again, it's Detroit. Everything happens in Michigan. All right, what happened this time? Body odor issue?
She saw a man sitting next to her write a text message to someone complaining about her because she was fat. Now she's gonna post about us. She called this guy out on social media. Dear man on flight Delta 1723, you referred to me as a 2-ton woman. You told your friend as soon as I boarded and you saw me that it was not good. When I confronted you saying, I'm not 2 tons, but I did just have a baby, you sighed and got up to use the bathroom, then quietly asked the flight attendant for a different seat. I'm glad there were not any. I don't need your validation, so why am I posting? To call you out because I do not exist to please you. Well, I think he would agree with that. Well, yeah. Because I will take up as much space as I want, because even when confronted, you did not think you were in the wrong, that you did not need to apologize. I'm glad you had to sit next to me the entire 2-hour flight. I'm only sorry I couldn't take up more space. The woman said she penned this letter because she was sick of this Shiite, referring to women getting, quote-unquote, fat-shamed when in public.
Okay. How much does she weigh? What are her lbs? What's her body mass index? I need numbers.
I don't know. She just...
well, if she's overflowing, I don't care if she had a baby or she didn't have a baby. If she's overflowing into the seat next to her, you do the right thing and you buy 2 seats. And I've had people on planes, larger men, not women, who have purchased 2 seats because someone would try to sit there and he's like, no, I bought this seat next to me. And I applauded him for that. That's a respectful thing to do. That's a real man.
What about this woman? She saw the man write a text,
she
type
should
a text.
Not lean over and mind her own business, if you know what I mean. Well, he has a right to privacy. And how does she know for sure that he was fat-shaming her via text?
Well, because of what he wrote about her, that she was a 2-ton woman. And all this.
I mean,
I don't think she was literally 2 tons.
Far away to see his text messages.
Well, he was probably scrunched up, and so he didn't have a lot of room to type the text
been
message.
On those flights. You know you have. Well, I was with two rapper. I told you, a rapper convention. I was pregnant, and I had a 300-pound man, and I was in the middle seat, and I had a 200-pound woman next to me. And I was like this, literally, but I was 9 months pregnant.
You were between Notorious B.I.G. and Missy Elliott?
How did you know? Oh, Missy Elliott. And no, this woman was much larger than Missy Elliott. And I had, I had to take oxygen on the plane. Is there a doctor here?
Got to factor in her badonkadonk.
And then somebody switched seats with me so I could breathe. But I mean, come on. If you're that big, buy 2 seats.
All right.
Okay.
That's Amy Jacobson's airline travel advice.
JB. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Can Venezuela rise from socialism's ashes? We'll ask Cliff May, president of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom, check in on this nasty winter weather we have. An advisory until 6 p.m. Here is Mike Scott.
Well, the changeover is beginning in some spots. 27 officially at O'Hare. 34 in Aurora, where there's light rain and freezing rain right now after heavy snowfall this morning caused some major problems on Chicago area roadways and at the airports. Hundreds of schools and agencies closed throughout the Chicago area today because of severe winter weather, and a list of closures and delays or late starts can be found at emergencyclosingcenter.com. Firefighters today are moving carefully off over treacherous mud 4 days after a dam collapse that buried mine buildings and surrounding neighborhoods. The confirmed death toll in Brazil this morning is 58, with up to 300 missing. In an ominous sign today, no one has been recovered during rescue operations, a stark difference from the first 3 days of the disaster. The Taliban says the U.S. has agreed on a draft peace plan that would see all foreign troops out of Afghanistan in the next 18 months. President Trump isn't holding out much hope that he and Congress can agree on funding for a border wall in less than 3 weeks. There are now 32 confirmed cases of measles and growing in the state of Washington. Governor Jay Inslee there has declared a state of emergency. Bail set here in Chicago at just over $1 million for a Chicago man wanted in a deadly Texas shooting last summer. Ahmaud Williams appeared in court yesterday after being arrested Friday on the west side. The state of Illinois is offering to help even more people who may be struggling to pay their heating bills. The state sending word out that anyone whose job was impacted by the federal government shutdown can apply for LIHEAP help. Cavaliers over the Bulls, 104-101. College hoops, Fighting Illini travel to Minnesota next to battle the Golden Gophers. On Wednesday, the Illini coming off a weekend upset of number 16 Maryland. DePaul lost to Providence. Loyola beat SIU. And in the Valley, Illinois State over Indiana State. The news service of Discover. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard will not hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The most popular days to get engaged are Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day. And guys, finding the perfect wedding venue can be harder to figure out than the color and quality of the perfect diamond. With love in the air, Avante Banquets is here to help you plan the wedding of your dreams for the party of a lifetime at a price right for you. Avante Banquets is part of the family-owned Chicago Prime Restaurants, with a picturesque location opened just last year near Barrington, providing fine American dining and a timeless experience. Avante is an exceptional space for your wedding or corporate events and fundraisers, for an intimate gathering, or parties of 500 or more. The calendar is filling up, so secure your date today at AvanteBanquets.com. That's AVANTE Banquets.com. With wedding packages starting at just $39 a person. Experience exceptional hospitality with the Calcunos family at Avante Banquets, because classic never goes out of style. AvanteBanquets.com. AvanteBanquets.com.
My name is David Hochberg of Team Hochberg, and I have exciting news. To provide listeners with more financing options and lower rates, Team Hochberg is now originating loans for Homeside Financial. Team Hochberg Chicago-based loan officers, support staff, and in-house underwriters allows us to process and approve loans within days of receiving complete files from our borrowers. I'll be highlighting proprietary loan programs like doing a cash-out refinance up to 95% of the value of your home with a minimum credit score of 680 and construction to permanent loans on both FHA and VA loans. Team Hochberg's new toll-free number is 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-563-2843. Or visit our new website, 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-563-2843. Or visit our new website, 56david.com. Homeside Financial, Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 66761019, NMLS 1124061.
Dan Proft here.
And I'm Amy Jacobson, and we wanted to take a minute to say thanks. Thank you to each and every one of you who participated in our annual Food for the Poor campaign.
Because of you, we were able to raise more than $175,000 to provide food for a year and clean water for life for more than 2,200 children and their families in Haiti.
And we're especially grateful to the many business benefactors who supported this campaign. When you hear their ads on this station, we'd ask that you support their business as a way of thanking them for their generosity. And just because the Christmas season is over
and we're starting a new year, that doesn't mean the need goes away. You can still make a $50 donation to Food for the Poor.
Just call 844-862-4673. That's 844-862-4673.
Or visit 560theanswer.com/food. That's 560theanswer.com/food. And thanks again for your generosity.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
8:37 and a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
It's taking a lot longer to get anywhere this morning due to the snow, and some people are going nowhere. 492 flights have been canceled at O'Hare today, 195 at Midway. Kennedy inbound, it's now an hour and 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, an hour 10 from Montrose, 58 minutes in the Express. Edens, 50 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose. The Eisenhower, an hour and 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, an hour 50, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is an hour 95th to downtown. Outbound, it's 55 minutes through the snow. I-57, an hour and 20 minutes. I-80 to the Merge. Bishop Ford, an hour 30. It's slow and snowy on the tollways and Lakeshore Drive. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, snow tapers to flurries. We should have about 3.5 to 4 inches of snow at O'Hare, 6.5 to 7 inches of snow in McHenry right now. High of 35 this morning, and then temperatures begin to tumble towards 0 overnight. Only a high of 3 tomorrow, and a low tomorrow night of -24. Currently 27 at O'Hare, 34 and light rain in Aurora. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg was on Fox News Sunday. And I was asked what Trump's impact has been on the NATO alliance. You know, because according to Eric Swalwell, Democrat candidate for president, congressman from California, and others, Adam Schiff, Trump is a Russian agent. He's the Manchurian candidate, Putin's Manchurian candidate. So what does Stoltenberg think about Trump's impact on the security, the collective security of Western nations?
So President Trump has been very clear. He is committed to NATO. He stated that clearly just a few days ago, and he did so also at the NATO summit in July. But at the same time, he has clearly stated that NATO allies need to invest more. And therefore, at the summit in July last year, we agreed to do more, to step up. And now we see the results. By the end of next year, NATO allies will add 100 billion extra US dollars for defense. So we see some real money and some real results, and we see that the clear message from President Trump is having an impact. NATO allies have heard the president loud and clear, and now NATO allies are stepping up. So this is good news, meaning that we actually see more fair burden sharing.
What? Wait a second. NATO is a bulwark against Putin's revanchism, and Trump's tough line with NATO allies has generated $100 billion in contributions to NATO, and including his recommitment to NATO, as Stoltenberg mentioned. So it's all been good? Huh? What? How about in Venezuela?
How's that going?
With the installation, at least in part, of Juan Guaido and the sort of slow-motion deposing of Marxist Maduro after he and his predecessor, Hugo Chavez, have destroyed Venezuela. Writing in the Wall Street Journal, Mary Anastasia O'Grady writes, not since the fall of the Soviet Empire has a nation risen with such fury and determination to throw off the yoke of socialism. And not since then has Marxist misery been so clear for all the world to see. Venezuelans are experiencing what millions of Russians, Chinese, Cubans, and countless others have suffered. Destitute and angry, they want it to end. And she points out how ironic it is that so many Democrat socialists in this country would have us travel the same road to serfdom that Chavez and Maduro put the Venezuelans on. Oh, and by the way, the Trump administration recognizing the Guaido government and encouraging Western nations to do the same. The tool of Putin. Curious business. More on both of these topics. We're pleased to be joined by Cliff May, president of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Cliff, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's good to be with you.
How about the importance of regime change in Venezuela?
It's very important. It's not an accomplished fact yet. There are some Russian mercenaries going there. The Cubans will do what they can, very likely the Iranians as well. They're not giving up easily on this. They have found Maduro and before that Chavez to be very good friends of theirs. And so it's very instructive to see which countries around the world are trying to make sure that the Venezuelan people remain poor and oppressed.
And you've had, it's worth noting, led by the U.S., some 20 other Western democracies, 11 countries in Latin America, all recognizing the Guaido government, the U.S. promising Guaido $20 million in humanitarian assistance for starters.
That will be encouraging if he can manage to take over, if he can manage to get Maduro to go into retirement. Then a process of rebuilding Venezuela can begin. It's going to take a long time. It's not going to be easy considering how much destruction has occurred in that country under socialism over the past number of years. But the sooner it begins, the better.
What about the comments from NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg about Trump's impact on the NATO alliance?
He's quite right. Trump has demanded, in a way that other presidents have not, that NATO begin to make NATO nations begin to burden share and not simply rely on the U.S. Now, spending more money, that's an important part of it. That's not enough at the end of the day. It's not how much money you spend, because money can be spent badly. I think we all know that. You want to see readiness out of NATO. You want to see tanks that can roll. You want to see planes that can fly. And by the way, the other thing you want to see is Angela Merkel deciding not to go ahead with Nord Stream 2, which is a pipeline project that will make Germany more than ever dependent on Russia for energy. You don't have a NATO alliance to protect yourself from Russia while becoming more dependent on Russia. That's bad policy. It's bad for NATO. It's bad for the EU. It's bad for the American alliances with Europe.
I wanted to ask you about the shutdown for what? President Trump caving to the Democratic Party, I think, and ending or having a 3-week, what do you, I'm at a loss for it.
Stopgap funding.
Stopgap funding, yeah, excuse me. What do you think this means for President Trump and for President Trump in 2020?
Well, look, I don't think the shutdown strategy, if that's what it was, can be considered a success. I think he needs to change the conversation back to what it should be, which is, are we going to have a secure border or are we not? Are we going to allow people to come into this country and demand lawyers, food, housing, education, health care, and everything by the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands because we refuse to secure our border, and also allow those borders to be used by criminals, by gangs, by terrorists if they want to. Once it's clear that our borders are open and they're not secure and they're not going to be secure, that's an opportunity for all sorts of nefarious actors, and I think you have to figure they will do it. Now, that's the debate we need to have. Are we going to? For years and years, Congress has refused to pass just commonsensical laws to secure our borders. You cannot just have everybody come in and say, hey, you know what? Give me a lawyer, give me a court date, and by the way, if that court date is 9 months out, thanks very much. Maybe I'll see him, maybe I won't. That's the system we have right now, and it's a failure, and it's an embarrassment, and it needs to change, and I think the president is right to want to change it, but Congress has to do its part. It requires laws. The president can't do it on his own. Right now, Congress, and particularly the Democrats, have been unwilling to even have a serious discussion about the need for border security.
You have a piece that you penned recently, The Age of Neo-Imperialism, and you talk about the expansionist interests of China, Russia, and Iran, all of whom, by the way, Howard Schultz said yesterday in 60 Minutes, well, China in particular, not Russia and Iran. China is one of our friends. We shouldn't be fighting with China. Okay. China, Russia, Iran, their expansionist desires. So thinking about that neo-imperialism you're describing, is Trump's geopolitical strategy of principled realism and troop drawdowns in places like Syria and Afghanistan, is that a proper response to those expansionist interests?
You know, the national defense strategy, I think, is very clear, understanding who our adversaries are, long-term and short-term, understanding who are the revisionist actors out there, China and Russia in particular, who are the rogue actors out there, Iran and North Korea in particular, and also that we have these non-state actors who want to reestablish caliphates and empires. So I think it's there on paper. It's not there in terms of practice at this point. And the National Defense Strategy, there was a commission that examined it, actually on noon today, our time here in Washington, on C-SPAN FDD, the organization I run. We'll have a very interesting discussion on this with an admiral and a former ambassador and others. We're not where we should be in terms of we're better than we've been rhetorically. In terms of practice, no, we are not at this point making sure that those who want to establish empires hostile to the United States, hostile to freedom, are curbed. We're not doing that yet.
He is Cliff Mays, the president of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Cliff, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Let me ask you something. What would an extra income stream mean to you every month? How would that change things for you? More vacation time? Could you secure your retirement, spend more time with your family? Well, Online Trading Academy is a leader in training and investment education. Learn about how money is really made in the financial markets and how investing in them could be your pathway to achieving financial freedom. They will help you learn skills designed to be mastered and applied to generate monthly cash flow. At Online Trading Academy, thousands of people just like you have discovered an education path designed to allow them to reinvent themselves and take control of their finances. I'm so impressed with Online Trading Academy that I signed up for my own free class, and you can too.
Just call 888-984-TRADE. That's 888-984-TRADE. Get 2 free passes to their next class so you can check this all out. This is a limited opportunity and seats go quickly, so call 888-984-TRADE or visit them online at tradingacademy.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-500-5588. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-500-5588 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-500-5588 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-500-5588.
Another year and you still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system. Will your employees struggle to get by on a dated system with no IT personnel to fix it quickly? Or maybe you're thinking everything's running perfectly and it'll be fine. Until it isn't. Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. And it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Make 2019 the year you're prepared for anything technology throws at you with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT helps set you up for success and gets in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. They specialize in the preventative steps to keep you going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know exactly where you stand in the ever-evolving technology world. A second opinion never hurts. And for a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company, courtesy of Turnkey.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros, so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye with an absolutely free consultation. Text START to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use advanced FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK for as low as $220 per eye. Text START to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's START to 350-350.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it. Trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now. 1-800-600-9519. That's 1-800-600-9519. 1-800-600-9519.
One of the biggest fears for retirees and soon-to-be retirees, do I have enough? Do I have enough money to last for the rest of my life? I hear it every day when I meet with individuals, and it's for good reason. Check this statistic out. If you were born in 1800, you could expect to live until you were 39 years old. In 1900, 49. That number jumped to 68 in 1950, and today it's 79. How many people do you know that are in their 80s, in their 90s? Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. So how do you help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answers are in our special report, Maximizing Income in Retirement. In this powerful report, you'll discover successful tools and strategies on how to help turbocharge your income in retirement and how to position and protect your money regardless of what happens in the stock market. Call now to receive this report, Maximizing Income in Retirement, and will include 6 strategies to tax-free income. Call the Alpha Wealth Group, 630-519-4742 right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742. 4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560. The Answer.
The first paragraph in the Associated Press story on Roger Stone's arrest. Quote, Donald Trump confidant Roger Stone may be accused of lying and tampering with witnesses, but it's equally notable that what he's not charged with, colluding with the Kremlin in a grand conspiracy to help Trump win the presidency in 2016. Equally notable what he's not charged with. That's the Associated Press. Former Clintonista Mark Penn, writing, we were just talking about Venezuela, Mueller's selective prosecution of Stone, Venezuelan style. Whoa. Mark Penn writing, Roger Stone is accused of lying. He's accused of hiding his second source, lying about having emails and texts that made some minor unanswered requests, and threatening the dog of his other source, Randy Critico. Here's what Stone is not accused of lying about. That he did not know in advance that Podesta's emails had been hacked, that he did not coordinate with WikiLeaks, that he was never in touch directly with WikiLeaks during this time. Dershowitz makes the point again, the Roger Stone arrest and indictment is pro forma for Mueller, having nothing to do with anything that occurred before Mueller was appointed.
Well, I've read the indictment, and it's a typical Mueller indictment. Very, very heavy on stories involving collusion and WikiLeaks, but the indictment itself all relates to obstruction of justice, tampering of witnesses. In other words, crimes that occurred as a result of the investigation. This is typical of Mueller. He has found almost no crimes that occurred before he was appointed special counsel. He was appointed special counsel to uncover crimes that had already occurred. He has virtually failed in that respect in every regard.
Sort of an important point. That's not to dismiss the idea that lying to the FBI is a crime, tampering with witnesses is a crime. These are crimes that Roger Stone is alleged to have committed. But it is important to remind yourself what this is all supposed to be about, what the original scope of the special counsel's investigation was supposed to unearth or not. And so far, 2 years in, it's or not. And the SEAL Team 6 raid on Roger Stone's compound at the beginning of our show last week, Dershowitz has that sussed out.
Normally the situation is you call the lawyer, you tell the lawyer, look, he's been indicted, please show up at the federal court tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and maybe they keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't run away. But in cases like this, you don't typically see arrests of this kind. Look, Rudy Giuliani himself is guilty of having done that. You remember the case back when he went after Goldman Sachs executive and had him handcuffed and arrested in the Goldman Sachs office, and then it turned out there was no case to be brought against him. So this is something that prosecutors do a lot in order to intimidate witnesses.
And was Trump trying to manipulate Roger Stone at all with respect to his participation in Mueller's investigation?
But have you ever had any conversations with the president during the campaign or since the campaign about Russia or the Mueller investigation?
None whatsoever.
Zero.
Categorically.
Zero. You know, the president.
Zero.
So here we are again. A lot of unsavory characters Trump surrounded himself with that are the center of an unsavory investigation being conducted by Mueller. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Snow continues outside. WIND Chicago News Time. It's 9 o'clock.
He used to run Starbucks. Now he might.